This is Joe Castello's WFO Radio Ignition, covering everything that has wheels, an engine, and a driver.
The reason I race is to get the chicks. You know what I mean?
NASCAR, IndyCar, Formula One, sports cars, and NHRA Drag Racing.
Hey guys, just want to let you know, WFO rocks.
WFO Radio is total motorsports.
It's just so cool.
Fasten your seatbelts, fire up the ignition, and drop the hammer.
Yeah, let's do it.
Now, here's your host, Joe Castello.
WFO, how's everybody doing out there? Ignition, back on the air. We are back on the air. Starting off another week here in the WFO universe. Hopefully everybody's doing really well out there. I am super excited. We've got a huge show for you. We're going to talk a little F1. Ferrari, baby, back on top. Huge victory down there in Australia at Albert Park. Huge victory for the Scuderia, and we are super excited about that as we get ready for Formula One Miami. And hopefully you watch WFO Radio if you're like part of the international Formula One scene. You want to see what the Americans think about Formula One. How about like right in the neighborhood of Hard Rock Stadium where the race is going to be, like literally feet away? Like it's probably like, I don't know, 12,000 feet, but it's close enough. We are so close. And we're going to give you the true pulse of what the South Florida American Formula One fan thinks about what's going on in Formula One. That'll be going on. We'll be talking about NASCAR at Martinsville, where Lord Byron picks up his second win of the season, the first person to win multiple races. We're going to talk a little NHRA drag racing. We're going to get ready for the week where Ron Capps is going to be joining us on WFO Radio. We're going to hear from our cast of Patreon co-hosts. Sue Morris went racing this past weekend. We're going to find out what everybody did. It's going to be great. If you're listening to the audio-only podcast of the show, thank you very much. Hopefully you'll ask one of your friends to subscribe and tell them how great the show is. Hopefully you will. And we've got some great sponsors that make it all possible, like our great friends at Total Seal Piston Rings, the leader in ring seal technology. Talk a lot about Total Seal. We'll tell you a little bit more about them. We are working on having a new Hidden Horsepower episode. That is the podcast for Total Seal Piston Rings up on Friday, featuring a certain pro stock racer turned engine builder who has 99 career wins and 5 championships. But I'm not going to tell you who it is. TotalSeal.com. Our great friends at VP Racing Fuels, jumping on board with WFO Radio. And if you are a racer and you need racing fuel, VP, very specific blends to what you're doing. But if you're a casual listener to WFO Radio, they've got fuel additives and lubricants and car care products that you can get. The best place to find out more information is vpracingfuels.com. Sign up for their newsletter and never miss a detail about them. FTIperformancetransmissions.com. Donovan Williams doing many, many rounds this past week at the big money bracket races. Maybe our boy Troy will have a big money minute this past weekend, focusing on this past weekend, or maybe not. But I can tell you that the folks at FTI Performance Transmissions and Torque Converters are outfitting some of the best of the best. If you're planning on going racing, weekend warrior drag racer, high horsepower street car, pro modified, top dragster, top sportsman, FTIperformance.com is the place to go and tell them you heard about it on WFO Radio. Not to mention our great friend Marvin Rodak at Rodak'sCoffeeandGrills.com, the hot sauces and spice rubs. Am I drinking coffee right now? No, I am not. But did I start my day out? Yes, I did. 817-924-6821. Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School for the Dragster Adventure, those of you that want to drive a dragster, and our great friends at samtech.edu. And yes, Samtech is the home region of the next NHRA National event, Houston Raceway Park, the final NHRA Spring Nationals. We'll be talking about that a lot in the coming weeks. And later on in the show, I'll tell you how you can join the Patreons, the people who support the show behind the scenes. But right now, let's go out to the co-host of the show who did such a great job last week hosting the show, Mr. Giovanni in Miami. Giovanni did a great job hosting the show last week. Welcome, Gio. How are you?
All right.
There he is.
Great. Glad to be back. Oh, wait. I was here last week. It's you who is back.
I am back. Well, I was here last week, too. I was on the show.
Kind of, sort of. You were just in and out. You know, I did a drive-by.
I did a drive. I did a pass through, but I was there for a long time. After I went back and listened, it was pretty great. And if you're new to the show, you're definitely going to want to click subscribe, smash the bell. If this thing ends up on YouTube, like I'm planning for it to, this is going to be a whole new universe to the people out there in YouTube. A long form talk show. It's not a 15-second snippet. This is like an in-depth conversation among worldwide racing fans. Like, this is genuinely a worldwide show. And I will tell you in advance, though, it takes a couple of episodes to get it, to understand what it is. This isn't the one where you listen one time and you just like fall in love immediately. There's a good chance you'll hate it. There'll be hatred and anger about what we're doing and how it's sounding and how dare we, but not really. It just takes a little while for it to grow on you. 3, 4, 7, 9 episodes in, you'll realize, wow, I really feel a part of this thing. So subscribe, click the bell, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, or YouTube, where, we're on Facebook. We're everywhere. WFO. We're trying to not be throttled by the YouTubers out there, the Facebookers in particular, the ones that throttle us the most. But Giovanni, the thing that matters the most to me right now in this second. That's right. That's right, a huge victory. Charles Leclerc, Grand Slam, the pole, the win, the fastest lap, a tremendous victory for Scuderia Ferrari. Forza Ferrari. Now, we're going to save some of that for Sue and the other Ferrari fans in the crew when we have them join us. But I'm just super excited. And of course, I'm wearing my Ferrari gear, which this is one of my favorite shirts ever. Those of you on audio only, you can only imagine me in one of my favorite shirts ever. Got this in the final race at Indianapolis. Went up there. Me and my dad enjoyed it. Dad, Formula One may never come back to the United States of America ever again. We got to load up with gear. We went up there. We loaded up with gear. This was such a great shirt. And honestly, it was fantastic. And now Formula One is coming. You know what did Mercury Morris say? Don't call me when you're in my neighborhood. Call me when you're on my street. They are literally going to be like right here. So close. And we are super excited. And in fact, later on in the show, we will share with you exclusive photographs of some of the hospitality areas at the Formula One Miami Grand Prix racetrack, the circuit. Hard Rock Circuit, Autodromo. They got a whole name for it, trying to appeal. It's the racetrack. Gio, you don't seem too excited about the big Ferrari win. I got to tell you, you're obviously reading the web, not watching our number one screen. You're on mute, so you can't even hear what I'm saying.
No, I hear you. I hear you perfectly.
Yeah.
I am on mute so that you don't hear any background noise or any
That's all right. I can tell when you're reading something. I just wonder if it was like show related or if it was like something else.
I was searching for the fantasy results, since they're not up on our site.
Oh man, that's going to become a problem. Exactly. That is going to become a problem. The fantasy results. Now, Patrick, the webmaster, he's going to be down there in Houston. I don't think he's coming to the race.
That's why he's thinking about Formula One.
No, he's got a bunch of stuff, man. Pat gave me, I texted him on like Tuesday and he texted me back on like Saturday and he gave me a list of like the various things he's got to handle and responsible for. And I felt bad for even bothering him. But Pat does our fantasy league. And yes, the fantasy league. We'll see what happens. The Gray tells me he's going to quit. Told me flat out, Joe, I'm quitting the league. And I'm like, you can't
already
quit.
I mean, what? Kid, he can't stand failure.
Well, I tried to tell him about quitting, and now you never quit. You should never quit. You should fight to the last. I grapple with thee. You never quit because you never know what's going to happen. You might pull a miraculous comeback. And there's so many great examples of that out there in the world. Like last week, I think
he probably can't win, but
no, he can't win. He's got no chance. But you got to just moderate your goals. Just change them a little bit, adjust them. Like, all right, you can't win, but maybe you can finish in the top 10. Maybe you could finish in the top 20, top 50. Maybe you could beat Uncle Joe. Maybe you could beat Sue Morris. Maybe. Doubtful. But we'll see. All right, I'm going to put on the Patreon link. Going to send it out. And our Patreon co-hosts will join us. So I prompted you to talk about the great Ferrari victory, but you don't really have much to say, apparently.
I don't know. I guess, I heard you play the music. You said that we were going to wait to celebrate when them others came on.
But I mean, I would like to hear what you say. You got nothing to say. You got, you
I
know,
got to tell you, man, it's been a great season already.
Not really a fan.
No,
you're not a fan.
I'm not a fan.
It is. You just let it go by. Like, what a victory. I was so excited to watch that happen. Like Charles Leclerc, like the qualifying. I'm locked in. What difference a year makes, Giovanni? How dare you just not be excited about this victory? I'm going to put
I
on my.
never said I wasn't excited. I think you're unnecessarily attacking over here.
Your reaction time is too slow. You're too slow. You failed to react.
Look, I'm just getting used to the fact that there's 2 victories and a second place right now in 3 races this year. All right. I'm having a hard time just understanding it and really coming to terms with the concept that they actually are the fastest car so far over 3 races on 3 different tracks. So yes, absolutely. More importantly, reliable, because the Red Bull has been extremely fast, and it was faster, obviously, at those first 2 tracks, but not very reliable, because right now it's got 1 victory, 2 DNFs for Max, and I think Checo's got a second and a third, but he also has a DNF. So
I think I read somewhere that Leclerc's lead is larger than Max or Lewis had at any point last year already. Like this is a long season, but this start 1-2-1 for Leclerc it's hot. It's a hot start. And this can be like constructors championship is possible. Drivers championship is possible. You got a great start here. Can you, as Ferrari, out develop Red Bull and Mercedes? That's the question. And maybe they can. And we're going to see it. Like what kind of horrific heartbreak will we experience over the season? What will happen? Can Max come storming back? But they don't have reliability. And Christian Horner says, well, it's easier to make a fast car reliable than a reliable car fast. Okay, I get that. And their car is fast, but I think Ferrari is right with them, if not a little quicker in certain scenarios. Number one. Number two, even if they make their fast car reliable, there's a points detriment now. We know all that stuff that happened last year. If Leclerc can get out there and avoid DNFs, he's got a nice lead. He's going to win some races. He's going to win more races.
He's just got to find a way to podium out. Just stay on the podium, and it could be a recipe for a championship here unless Max starts winning races. Because even right now, Max is 6th in the points. He only has 25 points.
Yes.
Charles has got 71. And so George Russell is 2nd with 33. So like you said, that's a 34-point lead over the 2nd place.
Yeah.
And not only that, but Max is way down. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys in between. 4 guys in between. Max is 6th. So he's got to start winning races and hope that Charles is not 2nd, just to bring that gap down to something.
It's so early, and make no mistake,
it is.
Yes, it's so early. This is Ferrari. They can find
There's
a way.
Only 21 races to go.
21 races to go. They can find a way to blow it. Strategy plays, getting caught in nonsense. Maybe Max tries to get super aggressive, but hot start. And that's how championships in motorsport are won, with a hot start. And that's what they got. And I just found
forget that. It's the most important thing is that this is so entertaining now as a fan that they actually can compete. Even the race they didn't win, it was exciting.
Yes, it was. It's entertaining. Well, it's easy to watch. It's hard to watch when you know you don't have a chance to win. That's it. That's the whole deal. Thank goodness for Formula One for taking the Etch-a-Sketch and shaking it up and making everybody draw a new picture, because the old picture wasn't working for us, man. Mercedes and Red Bull they had nailed it, and no one was catching them. It could have been like 10 more years. No one was going to catch them. They shook up the Etch-a-Sketch, and Ferrari took advantage of a great championship battle between Red Bull and Mercedes, and they developed, and they came up with a car that's, I think it should be even further ahead of them. I can't believe that Red Bull is as good as they are, given what they went through last year.
It's because they have that speed, man. They have overall straight line speed.
They do. And then there's Mercedes, which actually I think they're writing them off. Everybody's writing them off like for dead. And I think that's a tremendous mistake. They're obviously trying to do something slightly different, and it's not, hitting immediately. They got their porpoising problem, et cetera, and so on. But George Russell third, Lewis Hamilton fourth. Okay, so assume Max and Sainz could have been up there. Yet and still, they are Mercedes. They will get there. Charles Leclerc wins the race. Sergio Perez is second. George Russell third. Then Lewis. Then Lando and Daniel Ricciardo, fifth and sixth. Guys, I'm telling you, the more you watch Drive to Survive, the more you will appreciate.
Welcome to the party.
You know what? In the grand scheme of things, you started watching this like 5 minutes before I did, right?
I disagree. There was 3 seasons.
2 months.
There was 3 seasons, and I saw the third season once it was released, and now this second one. And so I came to the party after 2 seasons had already come in. You didn't come to the party until now, the 4th season.
All right. Well, if that's the case, then we've all got beef with you because you did a very poor job of pitching the show to us. Poor
You
job.
just didn't have access to it, is all you said.
No, you didn't tell. Tell us. Make a case.
All right.
Make the case, the case that I'm making now to everybody else, like constantly browbeating, constantly like this thing is the greatest thing ever, guys. You didn't say that ever. Not once. This is the greatest thing ever. You've got to watch it. You're making a big mistake by not watching it. You could have protested. You could have boycotted. I refuse to co-host the show, Joe, until you Drive to Survive. And by the way, the only reason I got access to the stupid Netflix is through you anyway. So you could have given it to me. He was the kid.
I didn't have access to it. I'm not the one that gave it to you.
I know.
Someone gave you something they shouldn't have been giving you.
That's not true. I was invited, but I have access now, and that's changing everything. So back to the real point. The show's great. Well, no, Lando and Daniel, you get to see, you get to realize, you get to understand what everything means. There's just so many changing dynamics.
This episode, when it first came out 2 months ago, you hadn't seen a single one of them. I started talking a little bit about every episode.
Poor job. You did a terrible job. It was the worst job ever.
It's not my job to twist your arm and make you go watch the show.
When you're doing the show,
you know what it is?
You don't have to
this
fight.
is unfortunate. You don't have any children, so you get tired. You make some suggestions, and if they don't want to do it in the end, look, man, they're going to learn when they learn. You don't want to learn, Eventually, you saw it, and now you know.
I disagree with that. Listen, you were not cutting edge on Drive to Survive. Carlos Picari, Hawkins stuff. He was the one telling me this, and you know what he said? You're missing out. You got to watch it, and I didn't listen to him either. Now I got it. Well, maybe I would
either. Keyword right there. Either.
Maybe I didn't either. Maybe I would have if you had made a more compelling case. But now I'm making the compelling case to everybody out there. We'll see how many watch.
Dude, this is one of the greatest shows on Netflix. It's Super Ratings Bonanza.
It really is.
They track it. Probably plays or.
And as much as I would love for NHRA Drag Racing, I said this to the Patreons earlier today. For all you guys out there on Ignition, as much as we fantasize about NHRA Drag Racing having a show like that, my hot take is that the personalities would not be able to pull it off. They would not be able to pull it off. The honesty, because with security comes honesty. Toto Wolff, Christian Horner, like all those guys, they're getting paid so much money. They'll tell you exactly what they think. They're not worried. but saying the wrong thing to the wrong person at the wrong time. And oh my gosh, that'll end my ride and I'll lose my opportunity.
Right.
I'll piss
There's
off
no consequence for any of that, for any of these guys, really.
It comes out a year later, like in drag racing, you say something that angers somebody, they can walk up to your nose and tell you. Lando Norris doesn't have to worry about that. And so it's just so different. I think it would be very hard to do it in drag racing. That's my new opinion. But I'm watching it, and every episode I put it on late at night, and then it comes on, and now I'm awake watching. Like, oh my god, it's so good. I can't wait for 2023 already with the Ferrari wins. All right, let's bring in the Patreon co-host Sue Morris, who raced this past weekend. She's all WFO. She's got her own version. He's got her own version. Don't worry. I got mine. I love to watch him sing.
I do too. It's my favorite part.
The words are very troubling. If you read the words to the Italian national anthem, there's like violence. Wow, it's just synonymous with victory. And I can't help but think about Michael Schumacher, like.
It gives me chills every time.
Mamma mia!
Hey!
So
I
great.
love it. I love it.
That is the Formula One official rendition of the Italian national anthem till late 2000. I guess they switched it up at some point, courtesy of YouTube. How great was that, Sue? Sue's excited about it.
Absolutely. Ferrari winning in Australia. Man.
Yeah.
How great was that? Of course, Verstappen having an incident at the end too. I like that
It was
too.
even better. That made it even more exciting.
I know.
It totally did. What are you
I got
talking
the
about?
checkered flag right there. As soon as that happened, I'm like, oh, win. That's it. We won.
Karma.
If you're tuning in for the very first time, this is not like a Ferrari show. We're going to talk NASCAR. We're going to talk NHRA drag racing, but and we haven't coordinated. It just happens that so far everybody is a Ferrari fan, and we've been sad over the past. What was it? First Grand Slam since 2010. That's crazy. That's crazy. It's been such
first
a
pole in Australia since 2007. Even though the Seb did win a couple of races there, a couple of years ago before the COVID, but the first pole since 2007. I mean, that's forever ago.
Unbelievable. First pole?
Yeah.
This year?
No, first pole at Australia.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. It was like, at Australia was an important fact. Let's see. Bobby Graham standing up for Gio says kids do make a difference in scheduling. Very good, Bobby. Thank you very much. And Olsen's Trailblazers out there in the peanut gallery saying, I don't have Netflix, haven't seen it because what is it? Unfortunately, unfortunately he doesn't have Netflix.
What's all the ducking and bobbing?
No, because I got my light. It's in the way of right where the chat
okay.
section is, and I got this hat on. And now I'm like, I don't know, man. Something moved around in the studio here. Troy says we drive a Benz, so I'm Team Mercedes. Troy's up there. They drive a Benz, and that's how it works. I do not drive a Ferrari, and yet I am Team Ferrari. And we really started off by talking about how the Autodromo Miami is right down the street from the WFO studios. So the international.
That's what they call it, is it?
Look it up.
No, you're making it S up. It's not called anything.
Why don't you look it up?
Not called the Autodromo.
Look it up. The Autodromo.
I am. I will. I don't believe you.
Huh?
Do it. Look it up. The Autodromo. It's so true. And we got Bobby Graham is out there in Olsen's Trailblazers. But what we are, the exclusive insider unofficial home of Formula One Miami discussion here on WFO Radio. Primarily drag racing and NASCAR, but we talk a heavy load of Formula One. But as depressed Ferrari fans who are busting out of our shell a little bit here, we're like, Ferrari, we could see, how do I say it? We could maybe see a Ferrari victory. There is no guarantee in life, if you're a NASCAR fan, if you're a racing fan, that you will ever see your favorite driver win, right? Like there's no guarantee. I went to Homestead Miami Speedway. I watched Dale Earnhardt race several times. I never got to see him win. I watched Dale Earnhardt Jr. race a bunch of times. I never got to see him win. You can go to a whole bunch of races and you can never see your driver win because that's racing.
Or you can potentially see your driver win the championship and the race right in front of you too.
Who are you talking about?
Tony Stewart.
Oh, yeah.
Your friend. Remember?
Tony.
Your friend.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. My bud, Tony.
Yeah.
Drag racer, Tony Stewart. That's so funny.
Right. Remember when he was a stock car driver?
I do remember when he was a stock car driver. No,
Yeah.
the real story is, and there's video out there somewhere, but it's on like one of those old things with there was like it was a magnetic, it's like a belt.
Like a handheld camera with a button that just pushed it.
Well, it had a belt that went through like this cartridge that
Well, like a
somehow
disc camera
not a
thing?
disc. No, it was before that. A
Polaroid?
tape. It was a
Oh, a
tape.
tape.
It was a tape on a tape
cassette
somewhere.
Tape kind of thing.
Whenever,
or-
what year was that, Gio? Was that his first championship? Gio hops the wall, as was our tradition at Homestead Miami Speedway. Fans are going out there, drivers are doing donuts, and Giovanni somehow manages to record his hand slapping 5 with Tony Stewart, his favorite driver, while Tony is inside the car.
Doing the burnout still with the championship flag.
Oh,
As they came by, you know how the media all runs to that wall right away. Well,
Yeah.
I was able to run, in there as a media,
As a media. Yeah, as a media. Exactly. And
I was
you know what,
covering
Gio?
the race. I was there,
Hey.
with my credentials, covering the race.
So I'm sitting, this is a little
But
bit.
actually,
And
I think it was one of those like mini DVs or whatever they call.
He was-
like,
he's in
those
a- he's
Super
in
8
a-
tapes or something. It's like old school Sony. Like it was the best Sony video that was out at the time. I think that was 05 maybe.
he was in a Pontiac.
Yeah.
Wasn't he? Yeah, he was in a
Yeah, in
Pontiac.
the
So we
number
could
20.
trace it. And what's really funny is I was looking back, I was on a plane and I decided to go back to the beginning of my pictures on my phone, right? And I went all the way back to the beginning of the pictures on my phone and just kind of swiping through the different moments that I had captured. And there's some really great stuff. I'm sure if we search through, we can find some really great videos to share here on WFO Radio. Just great stuff that was lost prior to the video component of the show. Bobby Graham is out there. We're going to bring on Bobby Graham onto the show as well. Bobby Graham sporting his giant logo, WFO Radio, long sleeve sweatshirt or t-shirt or something. I can't tell if it's the shirt or the chair or both.
looks like a hoodie.
Yeah, he's got a hoodie. He's got a headset mic. He's very
No,
prepared.
not a hoodie.
No,
From
it's not a
Daniel.
hoodie.
You got
Okay.
that good chair now, the one that doesn't squeak.
The chair is not squeaking, Bobby. That's a good deal.
But you're on mute, Bobby.
Yeah,
He's
still
not on
muted.
mute.
He's
not
not.
on mute, but
It looks
we're not
like
hearing your audio. It doesn't say you're on mute, but we're not hearing his audio.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
working.
No, we see you talking. Just not catching it.
your lips are moving, but
Yeah.
I can't hear what you're saying.
All right, we're going to reset. Get out and come back in. We'll kick
Yeah.
him out and he'll come back in. We kick him out, so he comes back in. Now, those constructor points, I think, are very important. 104 to 65 to 55. Ferrari over Mercedes over Red Bull. Do I even need to bother? Mercedes is a fourth, 24. McLaren is fourth with 24. Alpine is fifth with 22. And then Alfa Romeo and then Haas. Haas is right in the middle of the fight for, fifth.
Hey, Haas has points.
Haas has
That's
got
a beautiful
points.
thing.
No, it's a new world. In fact, we're just all adapting to the new universe. Monica's out there. Hi, everyone. Check you out, Joe. Looking good. Thank you very much. Well, yeah, I'm rocking my Ferrari gear. I decided that this was the week to break out the Ferrari gear. And I even have a next level. If, I don't know to break it out right now, but I just wanted to wear my stuff. And apparently we are going to go get new gear when the Formula One race comes out. And we're going to drop a lot of money. And it stinks because there's no other way to get it. The
No,
gear-
it's not as expensive as we thought. It's only like $100 for the polo I saw.
Oh, really?
So the shirt
Wow.
that I want isn't going to be that much more, maybe like 150. I saw it online, but they didn't have it here in the US. It's only in Europe. It's £100. So whatever that translates to.
Right.
Oh.
All right, Bobby Graham is back. Let's see if he's got audio now.
Try the different connection.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
Wow, look at this
Wow,
guy.
check that out. You are a
clearest-
professional.
The
Wow.
clearest Bobby Graham has ever been on
Is
WF.
it?
Before we
good?
get too far, for the record, it's called Miami International Autodrome.
Autodrome.
Not
Not
Autodromo
Dromo.
in Spanish, anything. It's the Autodrome.
Autodrome.
Yeah, you're making it seem like if they named it, like in Spanish because we were in Miami.
That's that orange shirt made him do that.
Yeah.
It's red.
Red.
Autodrome?
It does look a
What's an
little orange.
autodrome? What's an
It does look a
autodrome?
little orange, I admit.
It does look.
It's the real Ferrari
It's a little
coat.
faded.
This is-
Just a little
All right,
bit.
so we're gonna do it. We're gonna do a hat switch to like the greatest one ever that I rarely
There's the
wear.
red.
Now there's red.
This is it. Look at this. This might be a little faded, maybe from the sun. This is the final edition Michael Schumacher hat.
Wow.
Yeah, look at that. It's got all the years of the championships,
That's
and
awesome.
this will be
That
worn.
out.
This will be worn at the race. Someone was telling me, like, have you thought about what you're gonna wear to the race? And I'm like, it's too bad you can only wear one shirt at a time, right?
Well, you could carry a bag and have a wardrobe change.
Got my new one today.
Chase Elliott. Yep.
Hey, look
Nice.
at that.
Very nice. Yeah, no, super exciting for all of us. And I'm just the idea that Ferrari has a chance to win a race and for us to be there. That is like impossible math. It's impossible math.
It'll be worth the will call.
Will it though?
I'm sorry.
I just found out about
I don't know about that.
I find that to be
Taking it to a
ridiculous
dark
and
place.
unacceptable. I
I'm
would
sorry.
be
We'll
raising,
bring it back up. Bring it back up.
I would be raising some serious hell with that. I gotta tell
What's
you.
the whole purpose of buying it online if you can't?
But apparently, Mr.
If I
Costello,
gotta go wait in
your
line
event-
somewhere.
your event has already happened and you can't be refunded.
Oh,
That's not what I asked. Number one, the event hasn't happened. Number two, I don't want a refund. Why are you telling me this? They've responded to me twice. Your event has already taken place and you cannot be refunded. Well, that's wonderful, except neither of those things are true or pertinent. Ticketmaster. Oh my gosh. Thanks, Sue. Feeling so great. Now you got me
You're
back.
not the only one, man.
Oh,
Customer service
come
is
on.
incompetent everywhere. I gotta tell you.
Yeah. No, I'm going to drive
Yeah,
down there. I'm
it's
going to
really
drive.
not work.
I'm going to drive down to the
You'll straighten
Autodrome.
it out. You'll put them straight.
I'm going to go down to the Autodrome. All right. Before we move on from Formula One, we've got
You're
our.
gonna go to the box office right there down the street from your house.
That's my idea. What do you think of that? I think that's a pretty good idea. Go down there and just, get to a face-to-face with a person. And while I'm there, take a bunch of pictures.
Good
I
luck.
haven't- Yeah. It's right
Yeah.
down the street, like worst case
I
scenario.
know it's right down the street. I'm just saying good luck at the box office because you know how though that could be.
Yeah.
It's in my
Sorry,
bedroom.
can't help you.
There's
well, at
real
least you have a
life.
live person to debate with, though.
That's correct, Bobby. Exactly. I have a live person with which to debate.
It's
Oh,
hard
well,
to
that's-
debate with the computer.
That's right. You can let them know what the date is and
You can
what
always yell at them if you
state
get
that
angry.
you're in and the
Right.
city.
Here are some adhesive medical strips. I don't want adhesive medical strips. Here are the adhesive medical strips that you ordered. No, I did not.
See, Monica's right there. Go get them, Joe. Go get
Go
them.
get them. No, I will. I will. When there's a will, there will be a way. That is very true. All right. So now it is time for some exclusive photographs of the hospitality areas at the Autodrome. What is it? Circuit Miami Autodrome?
Miami International.
The Miami International Autodrome.
Autodrome. Not
So
Dromo.
I want a dictionary definition of Autodrome.
Oh my goodness, are you serious?
Yeah, well, I don't think you could call it a circuit, man.
Dictionary.
Call it a circuit, Autodrome. It's not really a word that we use commonly here in the States. Here is the first photograph. These were all taken by Mrs. Giovanni at the tennis tournament that is happening at the same facility. This is a multi-purpose facility. The Miami Dolphins play there. The University of Miami Hurricanes play there. But also the tennis tournament that was formerly the Ericsson and what else was it there?
The Lipton.
Giovanni? The Lipton, right? I
Yeah.
recall. I think Giovanni was with
NASDAQ.
the Anna Kournikova played Venus Williams in the final round of that said tournament in like 1997 or 6 or something. And I think Giovanni and I were both, I was working the board at the AM radio station, really hoping that Anna Kournikova would win, because I was a big fan of hers for reasons that need not get mentioned. But she lost. They moved that whole tournament to Hard Rock Stadium. And apparently it's a beautiful thing. And check this out. Boom. There it is. From what I understand, the area that you see this fake grass on, right, is track surface. That the track is going from where we are that way. And that is one of the back stretches, kind of where my seats are going to be. This area just shows you some of the cool, like, hospitality areas that they're going to have, and kind of the theme that they're using with the grass down there and the palm trees and all the different like bars. And, you know, it's Miami. Everything's got to be a club. There's a DJ, there's speakers, there's cocktails everywhere. Like, I'm looking at Albert Park and I'm wondering, you know, where are the DJs and the speakers and the cocktails? Like, everybody just seems to be sitting there. It looks like they're all at a race, which is great, but Miami's going to be a little bit different. This next photograph, for those of you audio only, this is a reason to maybe go to the YouTube channel and subscribe and click the bell, is a perfect example. You may notice in the center of the photograph, the light green grass and the dark green grass. The dark green grass, from what I understand, and it's possible that I'm slightly inaccurate about what's what, is where the track surface is. That cars are going to be screaming by there. And these suites that you're seeing right next to the stadium is, you know, and that also might be, guys, based on the rendering that Giovanni shared on his Twitter account the other day, that might be where the podium is. In fact, I'm going to take a risk here and say that where you see that screen right in the middle is where the podium is going to be. How cool is that?
That is correct. And
right?
Okay, in the picture that you're showing, the dark green grass that goes left to right is, picture that dark asphalt top. Because
where the car is.
Exactly where that car is, yes.
People are working on
absolutely.
It. That is the asphalt. That grass is fake grass, turf, whatever you want to call it, is right over the asphalt of the track. And I think what behind it is ultimately going to be some version of the podium. That's what we have been told. And let's see.
Well, because imagine that picture that Joe just showed, everything there is fake. None of that grass is actually real. The trees are real, and they're like potted and brought in. But you see, if you can see where the trees are, that little area is like a potted actual plant area there. The rest, all that grass is fake, is that AstroTurf stuff. Even the light green one. There is no real grass in that area of the stadium.
And then this final shot of these four random strangers, this is, you know, one of the bar areas, cocktails, music.
Like a lounge area for bars and people hanging out and drinking and spending money.
Yeah, highly unlikely.
That's what it's for.
Highly unlikely that I think we're going to get in there for the regular ticket price that we paid, the scant ticket price that we paid. Monica says
there's going to be different places of levels where you could probably, you know, club levels where you could pay to get into. Even like when you go to a Heat game, you can't just get into that Bacardi club. You know, we got to go talk to the season ticket rep, and she gives you the bracelet to get in there. Otherwise, you got to pay extra money. You know, by the way, just to get in there to spend more money, and the drinks are more expensive in the bar at that club anyway. You know, we know where to go get the cheap drinks on the other side of the arena.
Well, and that's the one downside, one of the bunch of downsides, which is that the word from the tennis tournament, the Miami Open, was that everything there was a little pricey. It was a little pricey. So I imagine, like, will it be more pricey than Formula One or less pricey than Formula One? Or the same? We'll find out soon enough.
How about this? I can guarantee you Formula One is going to be no less than the tennis prices.
Yes.
Right.
Agreed.
And you might also notice in this photograph, they've got like one of those skylift type things.
Oh, yeah.
You used to see.
You can actually see the turf pretty good there because it's like rolled up in some spots.
Yeah.
Where you can see that it's actually, you know, that AstroTurf, fake grass.
Oh, I'm getting excited. And I've decided to get very excited about this. This is a worldwide event that the whole world is going to be focused on. It's right here in the home of WFO Radio. We are the official, unofficial Formula One correspondents from Miami. And I don't know, maybe other people are doing shows, but Monica says, spend the money if you want to get into the cooler area. Yeah. You know, Monica, I
Yeah, sure.
You just spend your money, Joe. It's all good.
Yeah,
Just
if you
know-
want
know
to.
what the answer
Just
is.
spend
Well,
it.
Come on. We
No.
need those
Just
extra
spend it,
pictures.
Joe.
Just spend it. So you
We're
can
gonna-
tell us all about it. Give the
I'm starting a
report.
blog, The Frugal Formula One Fan, you know, like how to be cheap at Formula One events. We'll find out. No,
You
listen,
may have to graduate from the Mad Dog 2020 area to go levels up, right?
I was going to get one of those vests that you wear under your shirt that
Oh,
contain,
cool.
like, you know, like the Fremen and Dune wear, except mine's going to have all kinds of different mixed cocktails and drinks.
You're going
you
to
know,
have straws.
Yeah,
Right?
Camelback.
Oh, God.
But
okay.
Camelback, except there'll be a Bloody Mary in one, and there'll be a screwdriver, a mimosa in another. And then, you know, I'll just have,
Oh, so you're going like breakfast, brunch, lunch, you know.
see, Giovanni,
get it.
There you go.
that's a clear communication, Giovanni. Sue picked it up right like that. Kevin Luttrell is out there. What's up, WFO? He goes, WFO World. We're a universe, Kevin. We're a universe. All right. Any final thoughts on Formula One? Anybody got anything Formula One? We could end up bouncing back, but we got to talk NASCAR. Martinsville, going dirt racing. Kyle Busch hates it this week, but also the big fight between Ty Gibbs and Sam Mayer. We got to get into that and talk a little bit about Dirty Pool. Let's see if Kevin Luttrell's got anything. He's got his camera on. Oh, look at that, Giovanni. He's got a Boston Red Sox hat. We're going to dismiss him immediately. Okay, he's gone.
Oh man,
He's gone.
He's
Dismissed.
gone.
No, it's okay.
Fair
Bring him
enough.
back. We're
Kevin,
bringing
you,
him back.
you
We're
wore
bringing
the
him
wrong hat, Kevin.
I had
You
nothing
should-
to do with that, Kevin.
back. 2 out of 3. We won 2 out of 3
Okay.
first couple games. That's fine.
Well,
I respect
you
the
know,
rivalry.
Joe, I have a philosophy that these early divisional games can and usually come back to haunt people at the end of the year.
True.
You know, so these
True.
2 wins, you know, you guys are one up on us, and who
Yeah.
knows what tiebreakers we're going to need at the end of the year. And these games, in my opinion, are just as important as 159 through 162.
Totally agree with you, Kevin. That is an excellent point. And, you know, I hope you're right. But I'm just so happy to have baseball back. Like, just watching the game, like, I'm not going to get in kind of stressful, you know, attitude about anything that happens early on. I just want to enjoy baseball and like just relax and exhale. Like, baseball's back.
No, I would agree with that most. Yeah, I would agree with that statement too. It's glad to be it's back. I'm glad this lockout thing didn't last, you know, longer than it did, and you know, cooler heads prevailed. I just have
Boys,
one quick F1 comment. And do you think the USA can support 3 F1 races in a year?
Yes,
Yes.
I do. For
Okay.
the first
Absolutely.
for the first 10 years. For the first 10 years, yes. And then going forward, maybe not. You know, it's kind of got the fad thing going. I have some great photographs that I'm going to share with everybody next week on WFO of the Vegas track. You know, some camera angles of shots. Maybe if I can get them up, I'll put it on this week's show, but I really doubt it. Yeah, no, it won't come off my phone. I have to convert it, but it's a fad now. You know how NASCAR popped in the 90s and it was like this big thing, and then it kind of softened up a little bit. That's what Formula One is experiencing here in the States now. So, like, the people who couldn't get into Miami and Circuit of the Americas sold out in like 5 minutes, those people over the next 10 years are all going to get in somewhere. And then they'll decide, was it worth it? You know, should it go again? And we'll see every one of these cities probably have a big pop and then wane down. And at that point, it'll be time to renew the contract, and maybe they won't. Maybe they'll try to figure out how to have the, you know, the Grand Prix of Manhattan, right? And we'll have that New York Formula One race that everybody was wanting for so many years. That's impossible and can't happen. Or they'll have something in Chicago. You know, they'll try to milk it. Or maybe everyone will tire of Formula One because, you know, Americans have a short attention span. But I think for this 10-year period, starting now, I think the answer is yes. And they'll definitely make a ton of money.
How many years are we into COTA now? 4 or 5?
I think this will be the year. Giovanni, the producer extraordinaire, will look this up as a fact, but I think this is year 5. 2017 feels about right. But they just re-upped. Didn't they just re-up? And COTA is not going to go anywhere because that's such a great purpose-built facility. That's the thing. If any race goes somewhere, it's going to be, and this at Hard Rock Stadium, you know what? When Formula One goes away, IndyCar, they'll have something else. They've got a racetrack there now. They've got an FIA certified racetrack. They can do a lot of different stuff. They can run a sports.
I just thought it was a point to bring a point to bring up because we went from none to 1 to 3, and like seemingly overnight.
Yeah. The Gio says 2012. So it's actually, we finished our first 10 years, and that's where the re-up was.
That's when they renewed it, right? They had a 10-year deal. So
yeah.
How about that?
So did they re-up for 10 or don't know? We don't know.
Let me see if I see how long they re-up for.
Look for the re-up. One thing I will say about Vegas, though, that everyone has been talking about and is a little concerning is that start time of 10 p.m. Pacific time, 1 a.m. East Coast time. They wanted it to be in the morning in England, and so everyone can watch. 10 p.m. in Las Vegas in November, it gets cold at night. It's going to be cold. And, just like with drag racing, there is a track temp that's too cold. Now, what is it for Formula One? I don't know the answer to that, but just something to be concerned. Race fans out there at 10 p.m. on a Saturday night, like think of what that's going to be like. The party. The drunken debauchery that'll be happening in Vegas. Like people are going to be, right? The race is going to end at, they'll be doing the podium at midnight.
Like it's going to be any different than a normal Vegas night?
Well, you'll be probably, if Albert Park put in 500,000 people, isn't that what they claimed? 600,000 or something? 400,000? Some crazy huge number, the world record crowd for Formula One in Australia. Vegas is going to have that much. Yeah. So 400,000 people stuffed in there?
Yeah, it's going to be like New Year's.
Yeah.
New Year's Eve.
It'll be like New Year's Eve. Yeah. No, I've
experienced. On Thanksgiving. That'll be great.
It's going to be something special.
Will they have the whole track lit up for that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to look like a video game, Bobby.
Okay.
It's going to be cool.
Most of the track is lit up right now anyway. I mean, not as a track, but,
True.
Around this trip, it's going to be lit up, right? I haven't been to Vegas in a long time, but
I have never been there.
The lights rarely go out. Yeah,
it's going to be the most compelling track ever created ever, especially if, and I believe that they will be able to do this. Every advertising sign on every casino that you've seen, they're constantly moving like all of those screens, right? Hot Planet Hollywood has got a giant one and they've all got giant ones. If they can get those all on the same channel of showing the race, it's going to be nuts. It's going to be nuts. There's going to be screens everywhere showing the race, like having the broadcast on. It is going to be awesome. I'll work hard to get some of those photographs.
You're not the first person to think of. I would guess you're not the first person to think of that, Joe.
No, I know. But like when you're standing down and looking at the screens and you just take a second to think of what this would be like with Formula One on the screen and race cars screaming by and people just going crazy and an international crowd of 400,000 people there. It's going to be very, very fun and also troubling. If you're, both are true.
So for those of you on the East Coast and a 1:00 start time is a little too late for you, I'll have free room and board. You can watch it over here at my house in California. Where
okay, all right.
Look
at Kev.
All right.
Offering up his home to the WFO universe. That is a big mistake.
We can make room.
All right. Good. Kotz.
He wants to be clear. It's small.
Very, very small. All right, let's move forward to a little bit.
It's a 700 square foot 1-bedroom apartment. And who knows, by November 23, I might be in a mansion because I might hit the Powerball in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
See, there you go. I like it. Look it up.
Then I'm going to buy PBR. Then I'm going to buy PBIR and, host a room at the Vegas race.
Dear Lord, please, Kevin.
Little moment.
This guy seems to have a really good grasp on what to do with money. I think we should give him a shot. Amen. So let's move on to NASCAR. William Lord Byron gets the win. Joey Logano second. Austin Dillon third. In a race that was just okay. The Blue Emu Maximum Pain Relief 400 at Martinsville under the lights. I thought it was a good race, like the lights and the cars, but it was kind of the show got stunk up by Chase Elliott and Lord Byron, and William Byron becomes the first 2-time winner of the season. Let's hear what William Byron had to say after winning at Martinsville.
Yeah, the pace was certainly high. I don't think I could never relax. I could never save. I saved tire by just not sliding the tires, but not, I never could back up and like save tire and things like that. But I think it's just really cold temps, and anytime it's below 40 degrees, I'd say, the tires don't even lay rubber. So that was definitely a factor all night, but normal short track stuff, like take care of your rear tires and all those things. And I felt like we did a good job of that. Rudy made some great adjustments there. Probably the mid portion of the race got us a little bit better, and just had to manage when we got to traffic and had to be aggressive with certain guys to kind of either move them or get them offline to pass them and set our gap from there. I thought as soon as we got our car a little bit better, we could work through lap traffic and kind of build the lead.
And there it is, Lord Byron. The pace was something that he mentioned, and I agree. It was faster. They showed the new car versus the old car. The new car considerably quicker in the corners, and just driving away from the ghost car, the old car. And that I think that made it harder. The other teams will catch up, but this one race kind of got stunk out a little bit. Olsen's Trailblazers back on the Formula One start time. 10 p.m. is good for me. I usually have to tape most of them since they start at 5 a.m. Pacific time. Yeah, exactly. Tape. There's that word tape coming up again, whatever that is. Tape.
It's like a Mac card.
I had a bit of a media epiphany this past week because I do still have television and a DVR. I have Uverse, and on the Uverse, I went to watch qualifying for Formula One, and it records and even records a couple minutes afterwards, but not, everything like in the old days in NASCAR where you'd record like the 5 shows after a NASCAR race because you'd miss it. And it got to the end of, Q3 and cut off with like 6 minutes left. I'm like, I missed it. And Giovanni's texting me, oh, did you watch Formula One? Oh, yeah, but no. I'm like, And then I said, wait a second. Let me sign on to the ESPN app, and just signed on to the ESPN app on demand, fast forward, saw the whole thing. And it was kind of a moment, man. I thought, wow, maybe I need to cut the cord. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is the sign. Cut the cord.
You can't get on the ESPN app.
So like I said, no cutting the cord for me.
If you cut the cord.
But I got to buy some. I would have to get something else that, can I just get ESPN directly? Can I just pay them directly?
I just wish I had the
cord.
Joe,
you got to pay the mouse.
Yeah. No, you know who I'm going to pay, actually, if I'm going to pay anyone? I think that Formula One version of NHRA TV, the Formula One TV thing, it's right. I felt like it's pretty reasonable. It's like the same price as NHRA. It's like $110 or something. And then you get everything, and you get your own app, and you get everything, and you just go to that for your Formula One stuff. Got that for the NHRA.
Well, yes, if you're going to cut the cord, then yes, that would be the way to do it.
There's a way to do it, is the point. As opposed to my DVR, which was the great technology back in the day, and now it stinks. It's nothing. Isn't that the craziest? How something is good for a little while, and then it's just garbage. So here's the rest of the results from the Blue Emu race. William Byron, Joey Logano, Austin Dillon, Ryan Blaney, Ross Chastain. Another good run. Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Eric Almirola, Chase Briscoe, Chase Elliott. Busch, Chase. Austin Cindric, Alex Bowman,
Kurt and Kyle.
Eric Jones. Remember that, Bob Smith?
Kurt and Kyle.
Kevin Harvick, Chris Buescher, Bubba Wallace, Brad Keselowski, Tyler Riddick, Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell rounding out the top 20. Cole Custer, Martin Truex, Ty Dillon, AJ Allmendinger, Michael McDowell, Harrison Burton, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Denny Hamlin, Daniel Suarez, and Todd Gillen. Top 30. 31st on, Justin Haley, Corey LaJoie, Cody Ware, JJ Yaley, Josh Bilicki, and BJ McLeod. 36 cars finished the race. And there you have it. Final results from Martinsville. This weekend on Easter, Sunday night, 7 p.m., the dirt race from Bristol Motor Speedway. I saw a clip before the show came on of Kyle Busch saying he hates it. Like vile poison. He hates it. He says it takes the sport backwards, is really what he said. I inferred that.
I think so.
He hates it. It takes the sport backwards. What, Bobby, you are in agreement with Kyle Busch?
I agree with him. Put them all in sprint cars. Let's put them on dirt.
And that's what he said. He says,
like
I've seen good dirt shows. Our car is not conducive to a good dirt show, and it's not a good show. He says that Richard Petty is the one that said originally the quote, dirt takes the sport backwards. And maybe he's right. And I think that I'm ready. Like I said it last year. I had seen enough. Thought it was interesting concept. Watched it. Thought it was okay. And would not have done it again. They did it again. All right. Second one. That's fine. Let's try it with the new car. That's good. Let's do it at night so we don't see a cloud of smoke, of dirt billowing into the air. And, you know, those of us with OCD feeling how filthy it is, the dirt all over us. Let's see it again. But after this one, if this one lays an egg, then it should be done, I think.
The cars are just too heavy. Cars are just too heavy.
Too heavy.
These late models are half the weight of these Cup cars.
Yeah. Exactly. It's a very heavy car. And now you've made the car like a Trans Am car, and you're going to put it on dirt. It just doesn't really make sense. I get why they did it. You know, they had the dirt sitting around. We got to use this dirt, man. We got to use it up. We spent a lot of money on this dirt. We're going to use it up. And we were out there at Bristol last year, the drag races. You could see the big pile of dirt. There it is. There's all the dirt that's where the dirt is. So we'll see. We'll watch the race and make a decision. Don't forget to set your fantasy team. Speaking of that, Giovanni, didn't you bring up fantasy results?
Oh, please.
I did. I said they're not on the website, and I was saying Patrick how he is failing us. And then you stood up for him like you always do. Stand up for everybody. That's not me.
I stand up, but I stand up for you when people attack you too. When you're not around.
That's not true.
It is. It is.
Oh, when I'm not around, though, that's the key word. When I'm not around. All right.
Well, why would I need to stand up for you if you were around? You could do a fine job standing up for yourself. But if you're not around, I got your back so good. You should know it.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, let's hear the results.
Oh, I got to go through them. You're not gonna. You don't have them. All right.
You did such a great job last week on the show. I don't know if you heard the Monday motivation, but I ended it off with a very Sue. You guys.
Oh, he had you back today.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. I gotta say it.
You weren't around. See, Gio?
That was great. You see, isn't this great?
If you were just a Patreon, Gio, you would have knew this.
That's right.
You should really start paying for the show.
Yeah,
Gio.
you really should, Gio.
Start paying. Then I'll really have your back. Skin in the game, baby. All right, let's hear the fantasy results. And now Giovanni in Miami will take us through the WFO Radio Fantasy League results, where at the end of the year, someone will get their name on that trophy.
All right, the weekly winner is Texas Bugnut with 377 points. Woof! He had Blaney, Logano, Byron, and Cindric. So definitely a very good day for him. Second, Royal Flush Racing with 373 points. Tied with Bad Brad. Oh, and Mr. Fantasy NASCAR, of course. So I guess whatever after that is Aviators 365. Driving Hard tied with Aviator Racing for 365. Fantasy Clueless 357. Turn Left 354. Look at this. Southern Racer X 352.
Wow, look at that. Southern Racer X, another huge day.
He's climbing.
Is he talking trash to you, Stu? Is he talking trash to you?
It's getting close.
Okay.
Getting close.
He doesn't dare.
Oh, You know him better than that.
Race Day San Antonio Mike 351, Team English 340, Dragster Jeff is he on there down there, Joe?
He
Somewhere?
was
Dragster Jeff
on
may
for a
not be.
minute, and then he disabled the camera. So
Dragster
he's
Jeff
working.
334, Derail. Look at that, the Patreon crew coming up big this week. 329 for Derail. DRT Girl number 2 has 327. Ray Indy 322. Former champ Uper 320, tied with Elephant Racers. Dan out there playing the Frisbee, whatever it's called, Frisbee League. Team 12 also 320. And then after that is Los Chingones with 319, another former champion. Here we go, man. People are really starting to get into it now. Tired of bringing up the rear. Craig and Newhall 312, tied with Real Dookie 312, also covered, former 311. And Dirty Hippies 311, Clausen Racing 311 also. And then North Star 309, Hockey Dad 307, tied with Hillbilly 5032 at 307, and El Jefe 307. And here another Joe favorite, Pickle Rick 306, Rancid Angels 301. And I was going to stop right there, but the next one is Geo in Miami 298. And I'm looking for some of you all, but you must not have had a very good day. Not numbered. I know they kind of far down here.
Further down.
And as I'm going down, here we go. Team Gray 71. So he beat I still haven't seen Joe. Olson's Trailblazers 269, bringing up the rear down here. Chicken Pit Special, Northwest Nitro Fanatics had a really good day a couple weeks ago. Now 26. WFO Joe 266. So that seems still haven't mentioned Spiegel. Patrick 265, Millerman Brian 263, Cervix Splitters back here, Flea Treat 257. Bug Barn, finally, here we go. Bobby's Bug Barn 256, Bobby. I can see Harold Morolas is back here. Hockey Kid 244. Ooh, a bad day for the Hockey Kid.
All right, switch
trophy.
to the overall. Switch to the overall. Let's see.
I'm looking for.
I suck on the overall.
Yeah.
I was put it this way: Stu and I were drafted in the back together.
Yep.
I was drafted off of Stu.
I see that. Stubo bringing up the rear, second to last, 212 points. Explain yourself, Stubo.
I sucked. I should have just left my team in place from
Eddie
Richmond.
Hamlin.
I would have kicked ass. But no, I'm going to change my team up because there's no way they're all going to do well at Martinsville.
Sometimes it's best to just leave your team.
Denny Hamlin.
No.
Denny Hamlin took me out of it. I wouldn't have had a great day, but I would have had a reasonable day.
All right, and here we go. The most important, the overall standings. It looks like Hockey Dad has taken over the lead.
And look at Hockey Dad's scoring.
Wow.
He's got
so that means everybody else must have dropped the anchor there. But yes, Hockey Dad takes over the number one, 2,426 points. Clausen Racing is second, 9 points back. Craig and Newhall third, 15 points back. So that's right there, man. That's three guys nose to tail for the podium right now.
Hockey Dad wants to be the first and only father and son fantasy champions on the trophy. He's got something to go for.
He is. Aviator Racing is fourth. DRT 99 is fifth. Day Racing 21 is sixth. Mr. Fantasy up 13 slots to seventh. Oh my goodness. Come on, people. Eighth, Geo in Miami down 2 spots. Elephant Racers, ninth. Bad Brad and Turn Left are tied for 10th. The Dirty Hippie is flat at 12th. Did not move. Ray Indy is 13. Los Chingon 14. Jambalaya J is 15th overall. Northwest Nitro Fanatics is 16th. Rich and Sagas, who we saw he was out there at the Indy race, is 18th. El Jefe is 19. Olson's Trailblazers 22nd, down 5 spots. Not terrible. Smothered and Covered 23. Let's see who else stands out here. The Stoge 26, Team English. Subo down 15 slots to 30th. We know why. She had a terrible week, but you know, Stu, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So you'll
That's
be
right.
gotta get that team.
It's all
going.
good.
Drag
We just
Jeff
skinned our
down there.
knees.
After that great week, he's up 10 spots to 31st. Dragster Jeff. Intimidator Lives is 35. Zamboni John is 37. Southern Racer X is up 13 to 38. Wow, making a dash. He's about to pass you. He's had a couple of really good weeks. I think he won 2 weeks. Is that it? Right? No, 2 top 10s. He's got to win. So Southern Racer 38. Let's see who else. Hockey Kid is 45th. WFO Joe 48. Derail 50. And let's see, JJ Husker Fan is 53rd. Texas Bugnut won the week, and he's still all the way up to 53rd. So he was way back there. That's a good week by him, getting the win. Race Day San Antonio Mike is 57th. Race Day San Antonio Dixie is 58th. So they're battling there for the lead in the household. And Bulls Wool 66. Team Gray down to 69. He had a decent day, and he lost a couple spots, huh? And Patrick the Webmaster 71, and the rest of you back there, Fleetree, Vlad, and Haler, and going in circles. Don't give up. It's still early. Gray says that he's happy. He texted me right now. I can't believe he's still alive. He says, "Yay, I heard my name. I'm still in there."
Go,
He
Gray,
did
go.
not, did he really?
I swear.
It's good. It's good. Way to go. The kid, don't ever quit.
I love
Never
it.
Look,
quit.
Gray,
That's- if we're
see,
teaching
yeah.
anything on this show, it says you should never quit. Quitting, you should never quit. You should always just fight to the end. Fight to the end. Monica says I'm actually ahead of Joe, I think.
What's the name of her team? And I will confirm if she.
I believe
puts
it's
it in the
Fantasy
slot.
Clueless. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm guessing it's Fantasy Clueless. Fantasy Clueless.
Fantasy Clueless.
Wow, look
She
at
says-
you, man. Look at the big brain on Joe.
Well, I spent a
Ooh.
lot of time studying the names of the listeners' fantasy league teams.
She's 42nd and Joe is 48th. So she is correct.
Oh,
34
she
points ahead of you.
passed you.
She had a big week, 13 points positions up.
All right, let's move on because we got to talk about the big Xfinity fight. Get some strong opinions out there between Ty Gibbs and Sam Mayer. What's the final thought on the fantasy league? Is that it? Set your teams.
That's it.
Set your teams. Set your teams.
Fantasy, set your teams. Bristol dirt race next week.
Yeah. All right. No more hat. I'm done wearing a hat. Got the point over. Everybody gets it. So the big fight, honestly, if you watch the race, it was pretty wild at the end. There was that $100,000 dash for cash money. And Sam Mayer was trying to win it and kind of banging and bumping and got into Ty, and Ty didn't like it. There were other elements involved. I don't think it was totally dirty. It was kind of like the racing people want to see, especially for $100,000. But then Ty Gibbs comes over on pit road, like after the checkered flag. Ty Gibbs kind of bumped into Sam Mayer, like, hey, I didn't like that. And then after it was over on pit road, he comes over and instigated or engaged in a relatively heated conversation. And Sam Mayer, it's like in it too, but the body language that I got from it was like, hey, I'm going to take off my helmet and put this thing over here. And then we're going to talk. We're going to have a heavy talk. Right. And Ty Gibbs did not take off his helmet. He saw the other guy take off his helmet. And he did not take off his helmet. He left his helmet on, and they continued. And then he unleashed, he was the first to throw punches. A pretty good combination. Like if we're judging it, man, like it was a pretty good, quick pop, pop, pop. And he caught Sam Mayer in the face several times. And then Mayer, like whoever you are, you get punched in the face a few times. He was reeling for a second and then got back up, and it became a scrum. And then everybody separated. Okay. What do I think about it? Well, I think that it was kind of a weak move by Ty Gibbs to instigate fisticuffs with a guy without a helmet while you're wearing a helmet. Like that is like, maybe Sam was dumb for taking his helmet off. Maybe he was not thinking it was going to turn to fisticuffs. Maybe Ty knew it was going to turn into fisticuffs and left his helmet on purpose. Like, I'm going to show this guy what's up. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to leave on my helmet. I'm going to blast him. And that's exactly what happened, which, if there's any kind of etiquette like in life anymore, Like you don't kick someone while they're down. Like when I was a kid, you always learned that, right, man? You don't kick someone while they're down. Even Cheech in the vampire movie, what was he so upset for? That they kicked him while he was down. They kicked me while I was down. It's just not right. Sam Mayer's got his helmet off. Ty Gibbs got his helmet on. And it attacks him, the man without the helmet. I feel like that's kind of the equivalent to kicking someone while they're down. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe everybody else thinks it's okay. What say you, Giovanni, in Miami?
It is not okay to kick someone when they're down. Well, you know what? Why not, man? Once you got them on the ground, take them out, man. This is 2022, man.
De Niro stomp. The De Niro
That's right.
stomping of Goodfellas. Well, but you said it. It's 2022. Exactly right. You said it's 2022, meaning in this modern world, we have no line of what's beyond acceptable. You can do anything. Like you beat your victim unconscious and then you break their fingers.
Dude, all's fair in love and war, right? You were always taught all's fair in love and war, right? So,
but is that war? Is that war? That's war?
Yeah, man, when you're fighting somebody, it's war. That's it.
Right? Like, so, I don't know, man. I don't think I think that's what we've lost in our modern world. That once upon a time, there was the old, put up your dukes and you could have like a little exchange without doing something that is so drastic. But this wasn't. This guy just popped him a couple times. I think Sam Mayer was kind of dumb for taking his helmet off.
Definitely agree. And it's from what I gather, it does seem like he just came in there ready to kick Sam Mayer's ass, and he was not going to take the time to take off his helmet. He was just going to go start beating on him. And, in this case, clearly Sam should have kept his helmet on, and then, he wouldn't have been all bloodied up.
Yeah, Monica says he looked pretty beat up in the chat section.
Yeah, he did. He was bloodied up.
Well, exactly, which means he lost the fight. Like, it's very sad for him.
Oh, no, he got his ass whooped.
He definitely did. He's like, it's very tough, man. It's very difficult the way the fight doesn't.
Everybody takes a beating sometimes.
Whoever got the black eye. Sue, what did you think?
Coming to me first, huh? Okay.
Well, from the female perspective.
Female perspective, I think Ty's Ty's just a little kid. It was past his bedtime. It was almost midnight. He got all cranky. He went over to Sam and Sam's trying to do the, here, I'm going to take my helmet off and fight you. And little Ty, no, I'm going to keep my helmet on. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to kick your butt now. Look at me. Hee hee. I come on. As far as I'm concerned, he's a little twerp. But hey, that's just my opinion.
Stu coming with the strong opinion. Bobby Graham, let's go. So we got Gio says all's fair in war. I was uncomfortable with it. Sue says he's a twerp. What about you?
I think COVID has changed a lot of people. The rules for proper fight, I think he should have took his helmet off. That was a little bit CS for not taking his helmet off and go in as an equal. So
right, go in with like you roll up your sleeves. Like we're gonna. I appreciate your opinion. Monica agrees with Sue. What about Sacramento Racing Fan? What about it, Kev?
I did not see the fight. I did not see the race. But judging from what you guys have told me about it, Ty is a very young person. I'm sure the coach will straighten him out. But the helmet thing, you need to be equal, equal to equal. So if one guy takes his helmet off, the other guy should, and vice versa.
Unless it's war, right? Like, but even in war, obviously, there's a war going on that we can reference right now. And, which is very terrible. And I mention it every once in a while. I know nobody wants to hear about it because it's so horrible. But like, all is not fair in war, even like we're going to just kill a bunch of children. This bomb is for you, kids.
I was just going to say there are such things as war crimes, so
yeah,
all's fair in love and war is not true.
It's not even true. It's not even true in war. Okay, what about Olsen Strobly?
It should be.
I'm Sacramento Racing Fan. I didn't see the race, but to me, it's like Joe Gibbs. Joe Gibbs' son, is is up here, and then Sam Burns is down here, and it's like, well, he thinks everything, like, I don't know, like Kyle Busch, but everything, if it doesn't go his way, it doesn't. He's had everything handed to him with Joe Gibbs, with his dad. So
grandfather.
Grandfather. Yeah.
But okay, so on that note, they've got that NASCAR show.
Wait a minute. You're against nepotism, man? What's wrong with that?
I root for the underdogs. Hence the Oregon State Beavers rather than the Oregon Ducks.
There it is.
I love it.
If the kid does suck, eventually he will be out of the car. You can only get the opportunity through the name. Eventually, if you're not good at the job, you do get fired, especially like in sports world and in performance world.
He's getting the opportunity to race dirty because of the name.
Well, and I'm sure he has. Listen, I don't want to challenge nepotism, because nepotism is it's not only the name. It's that he was born in and around this stuff and was learning, accidentally at 3 years old. He was learning racing stuff, and so he has a definite advantage. It makes sense. But Kyle Petty said something on that Backseat Driver show, and I watched it right before the show came on just to get some other takes on it. And Kyle Petty, it was really interesting to hear Kyle attack Ty Gibbs, but he said, Sam Mayer put his helmet away like he had paid for it himself. And it was really an interesting deal.
Wow.
He goes, when you pay for your helmet, that it's expensive and you got to protect it, and you want to put it away in a nice, safe place before you get into an altercation. And then Ty Gibbs, obviously everybody gets the inference there. So and Kyle, who is also nepotism,
right? Of course, Kyle of all people,
right?
Well, that's where it makes it hurt even that much more, right? Kyle's bringing it up. Come on.
My beef is this: when all is said and done, I don't like, and I know they have to break up the fight. They have to. But I don't think it was fair that they broke it up right as Sam Mayer was starting to get on top. Like, if you really watch the fight, Sam gets hit with 3. Like, it's not really a sucker punch, because they were in a face-to-face altercation, and someone decides to throw the first punch. It was a first punch. So Sam gets hit. Boom, boom, boom. And
he came in with haymakers. He just came in wailing. Bah, bah, bah.
He's reeling now. But he wrapped up Ty Gibbs and started to get an advantage now. And he had kind of stood him up, and they were just kind of getting ready to be equal. And that's when everybody comes and breaks up the fight and says, no, not enough now, guys. That's enough. That's enough. No. Hold on. Time out. The guy with the helmet, totally protected, knows he's totally, there's nothing I'm going to do unless I know some like body moves, like the 5-hit heart thing from Kill Bill. He's going to be fine. Right? Fire some shots. Then the other guy starts to turn it around and starts to win, and you guys break it up. No, I think everyone is obligated to form that little circle, like 3 o'clock high, Buddy Revell, right? Don't mess this one up, Mitchell. And let Sam get some time in. Go to work. Sam's got to go to work at that point. And he was just, moment was happening. And that's when they broke up the fight. And I don't think it's right. I think Sam, until right now, I think if I was Sam, I think I would be, I heard an interview with him. He said very professionally, it's past us. Everything's cool, whatever. But that picture of his bloody eye is going to be up on just like Chris Rock. Like Chris Rock lost the fight. He took the punch. Will Smith walked away. Sam Mayer is going to have, I'm very proud of him that he does not feel the need to get back, because he was starting to come back and starting to win when they broke it all up. That's it.
So, Joe, I agree with you. That's the way we were taught in Shore Patrol. Keep everybody else away and let these two, whoever's tango it out, because it's not going to get settled until those two settle it themselves.
Well, isn't that what they do in hockey?
Huh?
Isn't that what they do in hockey? Like right. Like, there's a reason they let hockey fights go. They could stop a hockey fight immediately. Oh, there's a fight. Okay, stop it immediately. They don't. They shouldn't. Castello's on WFO advocating that they should have let the fight go. After what Ty Gibbs did, yes, they should have let Sam wrestle that helmet right off of his head and pop him in the nose. I have a suit of armor and you do not have a suit of armor, and we are now going to fight. That is not good. Sam should have, one moment, please, put his helmet back on and gone in there and fought it out. They would not have let that happen either. I don't know. I don't like the way it went down. Bugged me. That's it.
Dude, that's why you have to strike first and strike hard, strike fast before they break up the fight, man. You know?
Right. No mercy.
No mercy. No mercy.
And then you see, no mercy.
The infinite wisdom of Johnny Lawrence comes in, and suddenly Giovanni is right. You're right, Giovanni. That's it.
Right.
Strike first, strike hard, no mercy.
No mercy.
Listen, if Ty Gibbs in the interview after the fight said, strike first, strike hard, no mercy, number one, it would have been the greatest viral moment in history in NASCAR. Number two, everybody would have been like, well, damn.
Cobra Kai.
All right. That sure makes a lot of sense now. This guy just watched 4 seasons of Cobra Kai. Of course he struck first.
Well, right.
Of course.
But he didn't say that.
There's always two sides. That's good point. If we have learned nothing from Cobra Kai, we have learned that there are always two sides to perspectives to the story. Once upon a time, Johnny Lawrence was the bad guy, and then we realized, no, he's actually the good guy. Very interesting. Very interesting. Good debate. Good debate on the subject. All right. Let's, anything else racing-wise that we did not get to? Oh, yes. The Grand Prix of Long Beach. Joseph Newgarden wins the race. Giovanni refused to put on the race at his house, so I could not see it. But Richard Saugus was there. Now, he reminded me that we actually had to go to a birthday party or something. But Richard Saugus was there. I requested that Rich record something for the show. He has failed us. But anyway, the Grand Prix of Long Beach, that is it's a legacy race, and Joseph Newgarden wins the race. Anybody have any final opinions on it? Anybody watch it? Anybody study it? Yeah. All of our California audience members were actually at the race, so we'll have to catch up on it next week.
I just figured Jimmy
I was
Johnson seems a little
actually in
aggravated with
Bakersfield.
him.
I was out of town all weekend, so I didn't watch any race. The people I was visiting are non-race fans.
There you go, non-race fans. And Sue, you were saying about Jimmy Johnson's injury. Yeah, Jimmy got injured in a practice crash, hurt his wrist.
Yeah, and then went back out again, and
he crashed twice, didn't he?
Yeah. So I figured his team's probably not thrilled with him.
Tough track.
I don't think he was thrilled with himself on that last time.
Yeah,
probably. You're probably right, Bobby. He should have called it a race after the first wreck when he heard his hand was already fractured.
Well, that course is brutal.
Power steering.
That is a brutal course. All right, now time for Sports Collision. Giovanni in Miami going to take us through the worldwide world of sports.
Sports Collision, the sports show within a motorsports show. The big news of the weekend, of course, was the Masters, and Tiger Woods returns to Augusta, and he had a brilliant opening round on Thursday, shot 1 under, and those of you out there just like me that were corporate time stealing weasels and were watching online the entire first round from 11 a.m. when he teed off to about 4:30 when he got through the 18 holes of watching Tiger and struggle through the course. I mean, it was just great, fantastic to watch him out there and perform, but you could see that the man was hurting, had a hard time just bending over to pick up the ball, and when he was trying to get the angle to see the perfect shot, you could see him, I would definitely say, struggling to say the least, and that was even on Thursday. But Tiger did make the cut. He had another decent round on Friday. He shot 1 over on Friday, but then, on the weekend, it was just too much. And so it was great that he made the cut, and I'm sure the TV was happy to have him there on Saturday because they followed him all day Saturday. And then by Sunday, Scheffler, who won, he had pretty much dominated the tournament and had a 5-stroke lead throughout most of the day, Friday and Saturday. It got a little bit close there to about 2 strokes on Sunday early morning where he wasn't doing so well early on, but he held on to the lead.
Shaky start on Sunday, but he made, I think it was on 3. Him and Cameron Smith both hit the top of that green and the ball rolled down, right? They were both in the same spot. and he drained it right from there, chipped it up and in, and that was it. Tournament won right there. He won that, and Cameron Smith,
right,
damn.
And he went from 2 down, and Smith got a bogey, he got a birdie, and he went took a 4-stroke lead, and then never looked back at that point.
See, in the modern,
McIlroy had a great Sunday. He shot a 64 and made a run and ended up second. And so, yeah, it's always good when a big name has a huge Saturday or Sunday and makes a run towards the leaderboard like that.
See, in our advanced culture, love only is all is fair in love and war. Remember that, right? I think about history, and I'm a minor history buff, and I think about the Roman Colosseum, and oh man, that gladiator Giovanni, he's the greatest, and it's like, oh, he's dead. Well, let me pick a new one, right? That kind of deal. Now we have modern equivalent. Right. And it's sports and games and everything. So Cameron Smith and what's his name? Scheffler, they're the two gladiators. And that was the moment where Cameron Smith's got his spine snapped in the arena.
Yes, no, you're right. That's where he took him out.
When he chipped up and the ball went up and in, it's like, that's it. The gladiator's dead. We got to pick a new guy. And that was when it ended. You could see it right there. The whole tournament, everything changed from like, oh man, this guy's giving him a run. No, it's over. Snap. Continue.
Joe Dirt just didn't have what it takes on Sunday.
No, it's the Masters. This guy, he's going up against the number one. It's the Masters. Tiger, though, let me just say, Tiger, wow. I've always been a fan of Tiger Woods, but I'm a Jack Nicklaus guy because ever since I was a kid, I love Jack Nicklaus, and I still love Jack Nicklaus. But man, what Tiger has done now to me has elevated him to the next level. Whereas he didn't even have to try to come back. He could have just retired and been on the beach, on a boat, on a yacht. No, he went through probably what's that stuff that you have to do when you're recovering? Rehabilitation. Thank you very much. Rehab. Well, there's a couple kinds of rehab. Rehabilitation.
Well, it's all rehab. Just some of it you relapse into.
Some of us just suffer.
Think of the pain this guy is going through in rehab and all that stuff, like stretching, and they're doing all this stuff to go out and play golf. And the fact that he was able to walk the course at all 4 days in a row, months after almost losing his leg, is a miracle of modern science and technology. It's a miracle of sports medicine, and it's a miracle of the drive of a person, in this case, Tiger Woods. I'm amazed. And you could see him coming down 18. He was struggling. He was struggling, could barely walk. That's it. Go ahead, Gio.
No, that was it. I mean, for the Masters, Scotty wins, and it was just great seeing Tiger back out there after all that. And moving on, it was MLB. It was opening day on Thursday. Actually, MLB opening weekend throughout the league. The Yankees did win their regular season opener against the Red Sox, and they beat those dirty, stinking Red Sox on Friday and Saturday before losing on Sunday Night Baseball. Because pretty much that's probably what's going to happen to the Yankees when their 3, 4, and 5 starters go out there.
Yeah, we need more.
So we'll see. Early in the season, I'm happy to see Giancarlo and Rizzo are in midseason form with hitting the long balls, but we'll see what happens. It's it's a long year, and if they don't get pitching, they can't win the World Series. And in New York, if you don't win the World Series, it's World Series or bust. Let me tell you.
You have failed us.
A long time.
Why have you failed us? Excellent.
I have not failed, but the Yankees have failed.
What happened with
is the judge playing this year? Is he healthy?
Yes.
Yes, he's fully healthy. And the judge, unfortunately, unfortunate, we'll see. Fortunately, maybe, unfortunately or not, we'll see. Judge turned down an extension because this is his last season before hitting free agency. And so the Yankees offered an extension before the season, but Judge turned it down. And so we'll see. Hopefully he stays healthy and has a huge year, and the Yankees have no choice but then to pay him a crap load of money, or else he's going to go somewhere.
Troy is on with us now. You should have seen how excited Troy got when I put him on into the show. He was just watching it, and I put him on when he saw himself on there. He was like, "Oh, I'm on the show now." It was really good, Troy. Appreciate that.
Right, come on down.
Yeah, it was. It was like, Troy, you got any big money bracket racing minute to drop on us? I saw a couple of your tweeting. Troy, you got to follow Troy, man. If you're into the big money bracket racing thing, like I'm finding out about Donovan Williams, and I get the text, hey, man, the kid's doing great.
Oh, that boy Donovan was just nasty this weekend. And yeah, follow me. You could be like my 9th and 10th followers on Twitter.
Come on, Troy, you have more than that. Get out of here.
I'm trying to help you out. Follow Troy, everybody. He does
the
good.
quality of the followers.
He does good. You got to follow
yet
him.
you have not given his handle.
Well, I don't know.
I got it.
Troy. What is it, Troy?
It's Ken Lee Troy.
Spell that, Troy.
KenLeeTroy.
Kenley Troy. It's pretty easy. Everybody follow Troy.
Oh,
So
now it's easy after you spelled it for you,
yeah.
right? You know, just a second ago you were like, "Oh my goodness, what is
It could
that?"
be anything. It could be
Arabic.
spelled
I can't understand what he said.
Kenley Troy. And now you'll have at least 11 followers after this great moment here, I think.
Twitter's weird. I'm still figuring it out. You know, you can make a post without even any
23
hashtag.
right now. For the record, he has 23 followers.
Let's see, that's big time.
Good job,
Twitter's
Gia.
weird though. You can have a post with no hashtags and like get 1,500 views somehow. Twitter, I don't know. I still am figuring out Twitter, but it's a good place to catch up on stuff. This weekend though was the inaugural Capital City Classic in Montgomery. It was a Thursday through Sunday kind of deal, and Donovan Williams came to bring the business. Thursday night, 64 car shootout winner. Friday night, Will Holloman took home the $50,000 check. And then Saturday, Donovan was back. Round 5, he goes trip zip 5-pack. Round 8, trip zip 4-pack. Of course, he goes to the final and threw up like a 30, one above. You know, terrible package by his standards, but it was good enough for $100,000. And then he went all the way to the quarterfinals on Sunday. So it was just he was nuts. And if you know anything about the Williams family, you know he comes from quite the pedigree. So a lot of great racing, over 300 cars for an inaugural event. They ran it real smooth. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to watch. It was a great event. So, and then getting pumped for the Spring Fling Million that will start tomorrow, I guess. They'll start stuff Wednesday for sure down in Vegas. So looking forward to some good racing for the Spring Fling Million. But Donovan Williams, your newest 100,000 this weekend.
Hey man, it's already a good year. It's going to pay for the rest of everything else he wants to do for this year. And he's gotten, speaking of racing, Sue, did you drive this past weekend? I got a video of a burnout. Like it was like perfect burnout. Give us the Sue Morris Racing report. Wasn't for $100,000.
No.
But maybe someday it will be. And how exciting would that be? The day that Sue brings home $100,000. But what happened out there? Where was it? What'd you do?
Well, we were at Mooresville Dragway. It was the National Open, so it was an 8th mile, 2-race event, 2-day race each day. We got there Friday night. I actually got 4 time runs in Friday night before we called it. And car was running good. Did my first pass as a single because Mooresville's a little tight if you've ever been there. It's a little bit of a tight track. So got down there, went down, car straight, good. Got used to the finish line or the shutdown area and felt good. Next passes were all side-by-side runs. And, of course, Friday I was doing burnouts without the rev limiter chip, and I was getting really good big burnouts. But Dave was cringing at times. But hey, the key was heat in the tires. So I was making it like old school John Force, and going out there, set up in super street mode, and our index was 690 out there for that, and was doing about 100. The end was doing about 108 in the doing the 690. So, but went out Saturday and getting ready for my first round of competition, and I'm all ready, set in the car, buckled in, ready to go. Dave's like, "You got this. The other guy you're running, he's faster than you." Okay, cool. I can handle that. No big deal. And we're rolling down, and I look out the side of the window, and I see a red fender. And as I'm seeing a red fender, I'm seeing a thumbs up at me. And then all of a sudden, I'm seeing Doug Ramsey's name on the side of the car with the par. And I was like, huh, my first round of competition, and I'm going up against Doug Ramsey. Okay, bring it, baby. Here we go. So nothing like one of the Super Street Kings out there won the Gator Nationals Super Street, and then I mean, he puts it down. So I go up there, and okay, let's do it right. Burn out, go up, clean out the car, get in there, stage, went in, bumped in a little bit further, and then got in and stage, and I was up on the wheel, ripped the button off. I'm like, ah, and then the car leaves, and then I go, ah, because there was a big red light showing on my side.
Yeah, that happens. Well, I kind of felt like that's where the story was going to go. As soon as you said Doug Ramsey, I was like, oh, but we do have a spy report here. The Sue's burnout. I should have transferred it, but I was running into issues, but I do have it right here, and I will put it on the screen. It was like, I thought that was a perfect burnout, Sue. I thought you did a great job.
Well, thanks.
That was the RPM, very consistent.
Well, thank you. But
Yes.
I was 001 red.
Oh no!
That hurts.
Yeah, 001 red against Doug. So yeah.
What'd you have in the box?
50.
Should have had 51.
Coulda, shoulda.
Yeah, I always, I when I was doing it, like I would always sit up there and I'd be like the second it was Doug Ramsey, it'd been like 1. Because that 001 red, man, the Cosmos, it's like gambling on roulette, right? Like you always got to have money on those green numbers because the racing gods or the gambling gods, they like to mess with you. And the way they mess with you is with a 001 red or those green numbers. And so you got to like take a defensive move. So you put one chip in between on the green numbers so you don't get messed by the greens. And you got to put one more in.
Yeah, I know.
Do you got a bump up?
Think.
Do you got a bump up button on in your car too?
Well, no, this is Pro Tree, right? You're running some sort of Pro Tree deal.
Yeah, no bump up. Best case we would have did a bump down, and Dave did say to me, "Did you think about bumping down after you pulled that light?" I'm like, "No." I was like, I ripped that button. I'm like, I felt good, and then I saw the red. I'm like, damn it.
What'd the car run?
We were on. It was slow. We ran a 694, so we don't have it quite dialed in yet, but went out Sunday, and we got one time run. We were still a little bit slow. Pulled a bunch of numbers out. Went out there and go up, burn out stage, get in there, feeling good. Rip the light, 003, and I'm like, all right, we got it. We're green. We're heading down, feeling really good, and of course, short track, I'm not sure where the win light, lose light is, but I go down there and I have, Dave and I agree. We're like A to B. I'm not sure where the car's at. I got you set up safe. Okay, great. Boom, I'm going down and I'm doing the look. I'm like, I don't see him. Okay, well, just trust the car. Woo, go down there. And then there's the magic moment that we all know. I don't know. Did I win? Did I lose? So now as I'm coming around the bend and I'm following the person I was racing, and I'm like, please give me the white ticket. Please give me the white ticket. Give me the white ticket. And I go rolling up and he's in front of me, and all of a sudden he gets given the white ticket. I'm like, son of a bitch. I kept getting yellow ticket. So 003 and when it's 687, I was like, where the heck did that come from?
Wow.
So, but it was a great weekend.
Great news.
Were you dialed 89?
No, well, we thought we were dialed 90, but apparently not. So.
Should have gave her a couple extra womps down there, huh?
Womp.
I know. We both agreed A to B weekend and set it up good. And
well, exactly. It sounds easy. It's like, yeah, you should have ripped it a few times. Like, yeah, okay, well, and you will. I think it's great news.
Yeah.
You've already checked 2 boxes, right? Lost by 001 red light.
Yeah.
Lost with great light and by breakout.
Right.
So like you got to check all of those off before you start like getting wins. It's like
Yeah.
paying in. You got to pay your dues.
Well,
You gotta learn how to win, you know.
I had my own voice in my head, you know, like when Matt was going back from down under was going racing, I'm like, just turn on a wind light. At the end of the weekend, I look at Dave, I go, I didn't turn on a wind light.
A wind light. No, it's tough. Very tough.
But
It's very tough.
Dave did. He semis and super gas on Saturday and runnered up on super comp on Sunday. So
Tremendous.
it was for Morris Racing, it was a good weekend all the way around. And that son of a gun, I thought I had the best light in competition because I had the 003 and I was feeling proud and happy and you know, of course I had to say to Dave, well, I got the best light in competition so far this weekend. I'm winning it. Doesn't he go out there second round in super comp goes to 002 and he's like, I win. Son of a
Good job, Dave. I like it, Dave. I'm on Dave's side on this one. You gotta keep her honest, Dave. That's good. Nobody lets anybody win anything. You just got to fight. That's it until the end.
That's right.
Well, I think, listen, I'm super excited because the 4-wide nationals in Charlotte is coming up. You're racing that, correct? Not you,
Yep.
Sue, but
Not
Dave
me,
is.
but yeah. Mhm.
Right. And he's building to the crescendo of a victory in a national event. That's going to be again. And that's going to be tremendous. So, well, I think you did great. That's a very exciting racing story and told very well, by the way.
Well,
and I
thank
can't
you.
wait. So when's your next outing?
For me to run in Super Street,
Yes.
we're probably going to go to, probably won't be until August and go to Galat. So they got the double, they have the 8th mile and then the divisional. So I'll do Galat. So, so yeah, so that'll be my next one. We're trying to keep the toes since we got multiple rigs. So, cause I was telling the truck and trailer, to the track and he was doing the RV and the trailer to the, you know, for the other car. So
I dig it. But
yeah.
but I, you know, and Dave knows that, you know, you need to get back in the car as rapidly as is possible after this learning experience.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, it's just like reps. That's all drag racing is, you know, and Troy, you'll be there very soon. Reps. You got to make as many laps as you can, as rapidly as you can.
That's right. I'm waiting for your race report, Troy. I'm waiting.
Yeah, well, if I could ever get this car done, I was cutting out door bars and I've got a 10.0 cage and I got to go 850. So I was cutting stuff out today so I can put new stuff in. But we'll get there soon. And Sue, if you're going to Galat, you can't be going 001 red there because those scoreboards, people could read that for miles at Galat.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a video
screen all the way down the track.
It's so nice. Yeah.
Video screen. No, I think they're very expensive, but who knows? Well, excellent. All right, I think we've covered just about everything.
Real quick, with Troy, where do you watch your bracket racing on? Where do you stream that
usually on Motor Mania TV, but every once in a while on YouTube, Motor Mania TV. Every once in a while,
is that
one on
subscription service?
No, you just watch it. It's just free, man.
Oh, what was that
again?
It's
great.
Motor
What is it?
Mania. Yeah, they've been doing that for a long time. Motor Mania is like one of the OGs. Them and Bang Shift. OGs.
Yeah, Mark
do the divisional races.
Yeah, Mark and Joanne Walter do a great job. And Bang Shift will put some up sometimes. And then I've noticed a lot of NHRA divisional. They've been putting NHRA Division 4 was on YouTube all weekend too. That was pretty cool.
And the Baby Gators were also on YouTube. I think they're putting them all up on all the free stuff from NHRA.tv. All the divisional races that they broadcast, which is most, are on NHRA.tv for free. You just have to sign in and you have access on that. So, Kev, you can go to NHRA.tv and just create an account, which you already got NHRA.tv.
I've already got that. I just was curious about the bracket racing stuff.
YouTube.
Yeah, this weekend, the Spring Fling Million, which is like, other than the OG Million, you know, the Spring Fling's one of the granddaddies of them all. It'll be on, races start Wednesday, and it'll be on through Sunday. The Big Money Minute on Monday is going to be the biggest one to date so far.
Excellent tease right there. Well
love it.
executed. I love it. Yeah, we got something to look forward to already. I will have some stories to tell on Monday as well, and going to be super exciting. All right, there you go. Any final thoughts, Gio? Did we get to the end of the sports collision? I felt like we did. Dwayne Haskins, quarterback, Pittsburgh Steelers.
We didn't get to the end. You can talk about Dwayne. We let everybody interrupt my segment, but that's okay. It's not like I got anything important to say.
Felt like you were done.
I'm not the person that stands around here for you when you're not around, or got to make connections and through all the things of connecting with everyone and letting everyone know what's going on. Right? Nope. Don't worry. Just move along. Nothing here.
Well, at least you're honest, and that's what we are all about here on WFO. So you want to pick it back up? I felt like you were done. You're going to talk about the Miami Heat in the playoffs?
No, I didn't. You see? I didn't get to talk about the White Hot Heat playoffs.
I've got it all. Go ahead. It just was the natural flow of the show.
Well, that's all right. As we continue with Sports Collision, which is the show within the motorsport show, you see how things end up? But don't worry. We eventually circle all the way back around and pick everything back up some sooner or later. That's why it's a serial show. But NBA season ended on Sunday, and the only thing that was really left was the seeding, and that has all been arranged. And on Tuesday, which is tomorrow, we will have the 7 versus 8 games, both the East and the West. Those will be on TNT. So check out Chuck and the TNT crew there. Cleveland at Brooklyn is the first game, and the Clippers at Minnesota. Those are the 7 versus 8 seed, and the winners of those games will automatically become the 7 seed, and the loser will play the winner of the 8 versus 9 seeds, and those will occur on Wednesday. And that is Charlotte versus Atlanta in the East, and San Antonio and New Orleans Pelicans in the West. And so the loser there will go home, and the winners will play the losers of the Tuesday matchups to set up the final, find out who's going to play the 1 versus 2 seed. And so basically, we're going to have a play-in tournament Tuesday and Wednesday, and Saturday and Sunday, the actual playoffs will start for the NBA. And so next Monday, when we come back on and give you the Sports Collision, we will be able to have given you the results of all the first games of the first.
Hey, hold on, Gio. We got something else we need to get in here.
What's that?
Yeah. What's that?
I'm just kidding. I was just kidding.
No, I'm not. I can keep going. Oh, I see what's going on there. We even got graphics telling you guys what's going on. But no, that was NBA. Hockey season's coming to an end. I know Joe always wants me to mention that because the Florida Panthers are having the best season ever. This is a team that has pretty much done nothing in the NHL since they made that run to the Stanley Cup Finals in what was that, 96?
96. The year of the rat.
I think that was when Joe and I first started hanging out back in the rat-infested, bug-infested WQAM trailer park of a studio out there right down the street from your house.
Second reference for the rat-infested, bug-infested studio. And Hammer and Hank Goldberg was doing something on Twitter today. So it's all coming together. I was at the Eastern Conference Finals clinching game against the Pittsburgh Penguins, and I watched that all happen. I experienced it. That's one of my great sporting moments to go to the Stanley Cup Finals. It was amazing. Continue.
That whole season was magical.
All I hope is you take out Tampa Bay.
Yeah. Well, who do we play in the first round there, Giovanni?
Well, no, the season hasn't even ended yet, so they're finalizing.
Well, they got 2 more weeks.
Right.
Hockey season. It's a hockey season a little long, guys. Just saying.
And other sports news, WNBA going on live right now. But more power to the ladies. I don't really watch WNBA at all, but I'm pro girls and pro girl dads and all that stuff. So that's it.
Just because you don't watch Pittsburgh quarterback Dwayne Haskins was killed on 595 right near WFO Studios, very close to us.
That's by a dump truck, wasn't it?
Yeah, my hot take is that he committed suicide by dump truck, but I have no evidence of that. I was just I was reading the police calls and talking about what they said, and here he's an NFL player. It was early morning before the sun came up, and 595 is a busy highway, but not at 6 a.m. right? It's like if you wanted to run across and you're a thoroughbred athlete, I think you could make it, right? It's not like I-95 at 8 a.m. where there's no chance anybody's making it, right? Like if you wanted to Frogger your way across
at 8 a.m., you could probably just walk across as the cars are there stopped. That looks like a parking lot.
That's true. That's true. I don't.
I'm sorry. I mean, I don't mean.
You get what I'm saying? Like the timing, the odds. Like here's a dump truck coming, and like he doesn't see it. He's running. It accidentally hits him. I don't know. I have a tough time assuming that that's. I shouldn't have said, "Oh my God, it was suicide by dump truck." I shouldn't have said that. But it seems so odd at that hour. You're trying to cross a massive highway. Okay, you might have to cross the highway. You're probably going to be like, oh my gosh, this is a highway. I better be really careful. All right. Like go after the dump truck. I don't know. I think something's weird is going on. That's
I will say that there has been no report of anything of, his car had broken down or anything else to that extent. That we haven't heard either, we
don't even know why he was there.
That's the one thing that does seem weird, that they never, I have not heard anything about his car had broken down and he was, trying to cross the other side to get for help or something. There's none of that. And so that is a very big question. Like, what the hell are you doing trying to cross 595 at that? Especially where they say it was, which is trying to meet where it meets I-95. And so that's a huge area. Like what,
it's elevated.
Walking near there.
Yeah, no, it's an elevated highway. Like none of it makes sense.
Whenever they release things. But yeah, look, either way, 24 years old, super young guy, or number 54. It just goes to show you how much.
Yeah,
does Ben come back?
Yeah, Big Ben is coming back.
He was the backup last year. Ben is not coming back. Ben is done. Ben couldn't come back if he wanted to.
Yeah. Monica says maybe he had CTE, but he's so young, I don't know. I shouldn't have speculated, but it just, I listened or I read the radio calls right before the show to try to figure out what happened. And they're just bizarre. It's just a bizarre scenario. Like why on earth is anyone there at that time? It's an elevated highway. It's a road that we're very familiar with. And I've been on that road like millions of times, and a world-class athlete, if he really had to get from one side to the other, I think he could figure out how to not get in front of a dump truck unless, he ran, he fell, I don't know. Who knows? I guess as time goes by, we'll find out, but just very sad and very like local community. All right, guys, that is it. It's time for final thoughts. Monica says maybe intoxicated. We'll find out. I was under the impression he was, a fitness guy training down here, working out. I don't know. Just very, very bizarre. All right. So let's do final thoughts. Let's start with Olson's Trailblazers, who's been hanging out the whole time. And I muted him a little bit ago because he had some sounds in the background, but I will unmute him.
Yeah, sorry about that. Not much to say. Have a good weekend and have a good week and see you next week.
That works. That counts. It's good enough. Way to go, Olson's Trailblazers. One of our head Patreons weighing in. Way to go, Olson. Good job.
Root for the underdogs.
He's rooting for the underdog, man. He doesn't want the big corporation to win. He wants to. All right, Sacramento racing fan. You are next. Final thought.
I just have one comment on the NHRA TV. I did watch the 4-wide, most of it, all day Sunday, part of the day Saturday. And I just have one comment on that fabulous production. When they put up the time, Top Fuel is going to be at whatever time.
Yes.
They need to reference time zones, so that people that are like me don't go, well, is that East Coast time? Is that West Coast time? Is it what time really is 2:45?
You're asking too much. That's my hot take
on
that.
I got to do all that math. I'm like, where's the race? The race
that question's been asked way too many times.
Okay,
but other than that,
but I will say, I usually think it's the local track time zone that Alan is.
Well, that's what I have to do. I have to go through my head. Okay, where's the track? The track's in Vegas. Is that the same time zone as me? Yes or no?
So, this is very important market research. Now I'm going to be doing on my own time for the National Hot Rod Association. Okay. If you're having this problem, you're not the only one that is having this problem. You're watching NHRA.tv. You can't sit in front of your TV indefinitely, like we would hope you would. So when we say time back 3 p.m., you want what? The time zone of the track also included 3 p.m.
It doesn't really matter. Just give us one time zone, and then we can do the math from there.
Yes, you need to know a time zone so that you can figure it out. But if you don't get a time zone, you can't figure it out, because then you have to figure out where's the track, what time zone are they in, what time zone. That's too much. So you don't want 1 p.m. Eastern, 11 a 10 a.m. Pacific. You want 1 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to tell them it's
either way. But I think Eastern time and then Pacific time is, that's kind of a standard thing.
Yeah.
But I would be cool with just Eastern time.
Okay.
But
what if it's daylight savings? What about pre-daylight savings? Do we EDT? I got you. No, I think that's valuable. No, Troy, Kev, that's valuable insight. I'm going to mention it. We'll see if I can get it done. All right.
And,
see you next time.
Joe, I loved your morning motivation today. That was Monday Mo was really good. And Erica was just outstanding last week.
Thank you. Yes, she was. We don't really often talk about.
I've always loved her. I've always had a lot of respect for her. But this season, these last 2 or 3, 4 races, she's elevated that even higher.
How about she's saying flat out, I don't need anybody. I don't need anybody's help, right? Because somebody suggested that Christian Quadra pushed in the clutch to let her win. That was terrible. Erica, could you just, just tell guys, I don't need anybody to help. Don't do it. So now the team and everybody out there now knows. Everybody now knows. Do not do that. And hopefully they will listen, because, she's got a really great legacy going. 4-time champ, 36 wins. Will, everybody staying healthy and everything, eventually surpass Angel as the winningest female racer in NHRA drag racing history. She doesn't need any silly baggage. Oh, well, that guy one time, she doesn't need any of that. Nobody should do that because of her success. Attaching some weird, Troy Coughlin did it one time last year, thought he was doing the right thing, It was a mistake, but no more. I thought it was great. I was real happy that she said that on WFO. Cool. All right. Thank you. A lot of news happens on WFO. All right. Big Money Minute next week, Troy. The expectations are through the roof.
It's going to be like the Big Money 10 minutes. There's a lot of racing to talk about, so you might have to put it on the regular show. Not me, but you. Maybe Big Money Bracket Racing will rise to the level that it gets on your regular show.
Oh, maybe
you could get somebody. I don't know.
Man, I'm going to write down everything you say and then just repeat it in my own way.
Like a real expert.
Yeah, like a real expert. Like like everything you say next Monday, I'm going to listen to it. I'm going to write it all down. I'm going to slightly modify it so I make it my own, and then I'm going to regurgitate it in my own style. And everyone will think I did a whole bunch of research, and they'll give me all great credit. And I will not reference you.
Do it.
Don't lose it, Troy. No, don't listen to it. Don't lose it.
No, expertise it. I'm good with that.
Send the transcript first, Troy, so that we can have it for the show.
There you go. Gio has offered to record it, and we'll play it back on regular WFO. We'll see. We'll try to work it in there. I like it.
My parting thoughts, big rest in peace to Bob Unkefer. I hope people keep doing burnouts for Bob, because he can see them all now. And it just reminds me that, this weekend, Easter weekend, whether you celebrate the religious version of it or not, I hope everyone takes the time to spend some time with their family, their friends, and reach out to those who they can't spend time with this weekend. You just never know when your time is up or when their time is up. So don't miss out on a chance this weekend if you get one. I hope everyone has a great Easter holiday and a great week. And we'll see you all on Monday.
Awesome. Thank you, Troy. Appreciate it. Good job, Troy. Excellent. Monica says, well said. Hey, and Dragster Jeff was out there. He's been listening out in the shop, but has a sketchy connection. He says to everyone, have a great week in WFO. And I see Zamboni John is down there too. Zamboni John is actually watching the show, Giovanni.
There it is. All right. You know what I got right
Yeah,
here.
that's the signal to you, right? There it is. Look at that.
Right here. I
Zamboni
know
John.
exactly where they're at. Right.
Yeah.
We're in my line of sight. Right
Yeah.
where
And
they were all.
Olson's Trailblazer says he forgot to mention Unk. R.I.P. Bob Unkefer. Good job, Troy. And yeah, the answer is tomorrow with Alan Reinhart. We're going to spend, I would say, a significant amount of time talking about Unkefer. Bob is, I feel like I don't ever want to try to overstate my relationship with someone who has just passed, because especially in this situation, there are literally hundreds of people that were closer to Bob and knew Bob better than I did. And so I just want to show respect to all of those people. And I know that they're all hurting dramatically. My relationship with Bob was really good, right? Like whenever he would come around, and that was often, especially when we're out there in D4 Kansas and otherwise, casual conversation. He did help me out on WFO a couple of times, killing time. Just come on here, tell we have the race. Boom, there he was on the show. And honestly, though, cancer is a horrible disease, and if it's gonna happen the way it happened with Unkefer, like so fast. I just found out the other day that he had cancer, was fighting cancer. He's in a hospice and he passed away. Like, I'm kind of stunned by the speed that it happened. And everybody is very upset about it. I texted with Jerry Emmons today. Unc's got the greatest stat in the history of announcers, in my opinion. We all think that if we get a chance to race a car, we could go out there and do something with it, right? And once upon a time, Unc got the opportunity at a national event to drive one of the Emmons family cars, like out of the announce booth into the race car, and he won the event. There's nothing greater than that. That's it. That's the end all be all announcer moment. The opportunity, it's like a movie. You got the opportunity to jump in a race car against the best of the best, and you won. That's it. No one's topping that. Maybe it will be equaled someday. Brian Loans, or no, that's not going to happen. Alan Reinhart. No, well, Reinhart maybe. Now, Loans will be the first to tell you he's not a bracket racer. But I'm kidding, though. Brian anything can happen. That's the point. Anything can happen. But Unc did it. What? And a person that was universally loved, all you got to do is go on the Facebook right now and just scroll. And if you follow any drag racers, chances are they're talking about Unkefer. And it's we're going to talk about it tomorrow with Alan and get his take. They were great friends. I remember hanging in a bar in Kansas with Unkefer. Funny guy, just like all these other announcers, telling great stories. Drag racing world is sad. Bob Unkefer passed away, but really great to see what an impression he left with so many people. So we'll do that. We'll do that tomorrow. Bobby Graham, words of wisdom.
I'm going to try to make this pretty quick. I have words of wisdom. I have a couple shout outs, and I have a public service announcement that was asked to deliver.
All right.
So,
This has got me excited.
First off, this weekend, I finally made it out to the local track. We had our funny car chaos was out Friday night and Saturday. So, and I had thought of a few things. It's been a long time since I've been at the local track. Now, what I wanted to say is when you go to your local track, just be careful what you say about it, what you remember, how it looks. It may not be just up to par, or not a par, but the same as some of your trophy tracks. But try to keep that to yourself, because there's a lot of people that have memories of that track that you're talking about. And I listen to quite a few drivers, and people talk about that track, and and they all had great memories of it. So I kind of changed my kind of side of thought and looked back on my times back, and really I had good memories of the track. So try to keep your criticism down, and if you got anything to say, Joe kind of inspired me from his deal is from PBIR. If you got anything to say, try to be constructive. Go talk to the managers of the track or people that are involved and just let them know their ideas. Don't be out spewing the worst part, because it spreads and it does not help. So just keep that to yourself. Try to get the right person and give them your ideas. Okay. And try to help preserve your track and not destroy it.
Big time. What track are we talking about here, Bobby? What's the name of the facility?
State Capitol Dragway in Baton Rouge. Well,
got it.
They say Baton Rouge, pulled out.
How far from your house?
It's about 50 miles, 50, 60 miles from my
Wow,
house.
that's great. That's super close. You got to keep that.
I have two tracks. No Problem Dragway, and I have State Capitol close by my house.
No Problem looks really nice based on what I've seen on TV.
No Problems have made some great strides here lately. Once they've got through their little debacle that they had earlier this year or in the last year, they've really made some improvements.
Excellent. And yeah, you got to save your tracks, guys. Last week, I talked about it on the other show. I didn't talk about it on this, where we went up and we presented in front of the county commissioners and we all gave a speech. And I don't know, I think Derek actually put out the tweet with the stream and everything, which was a little crazy. But I mean, just like seeing the stream was out there, like, oh my gosh, man, so many of us gave up and we have 2 minutes to give a speech, and there's a countdown clock and it's counting down. And you're like, oh my gosh, I got to say everything. I got 10 minutes of stuff to say in 2 minutes. It was, but the commissioners voted against site plan changes, and now there is one more meeting, which is for all the marbles. But I'm not going to be in Charlotte at that point, so hopefully others will pick up the baton and carry it and get it done. But constructive, positive energy—that's what it's about. Negativity is really a disease. And when everybody starts talking about how crappy something is, then, what's the point of saving it if everybody hates it? And that's how we lose tracks. What was your next thing, Bobby?
All right. My shout outs are first to a friend of mine that went with me Friday night. He drove me out to the track there and back. I'm still basically almost unable to drive, but we had a blast. So shout out to David Freeman. And I want to shout out to the Monday morning racer, Lee. He stopped and took time and had a good conversation with him. And what was interesting, he had an interesting history with the State Capitol track being out of Texas. That was kind of like almost a home track for them, one of the closest tracks to go. And he was talking about it. And that put a lot of the bug in my ear, was kind of like, people have good memories. Don't destroy them. Because when you start doing that, you destroy everything.
Absolutely. Negativity. It's so pointless. Why? I mean, a lot of people make a lot of money to be negative, but in our thing, like, really, it's just poison. It's just poison. And, Lee is a good guy. Like, I've gotten to know him, over the last 2 years, I would say. And I like him a lot. I think he's sharp.
Very nice guy.
He follows drag racing. It's his absolute passion. And I think he does a great job, and he's been very helpful to me out there in the media center. He's covering all these events. He's out there on a regular basis. He does a show, him and Slam and Sam, and he tweeted a photograph of you. I don't know if you know that, but he did.
Yeah, he did.
I thought it was great. And you
and I got a picture with both of us, and he said, "I said, yeah, you got to put the glasses back on."
Yeah, that's his thing.
Don't know him without the glasses. He said, "Should have put them on." I said, "Yes, you got to put the glasses on."
So he and I have talked about the glasses thing, like, I get what he's doing. He's creating a character, the Monday morning racer. That's the character. I get it, because he loves wrestling, right? Like, wrestling's the background. That's his thing. Like, he's like the hot rod. I get it.
And I have one more shout out, and this shout out is to Corey and Amanda Ford with Fat Tires Apparel, and also the rest of the crew at the Jerry Bickle shop. I was told Corey works there at Jerry Bickles, and he says WFO is on in the shop while they're working on the cars. He said that is part of our repertoire to listen while they're working on the cars. So that was very, very interesting conversation with Corey. And
wow, That's great.
So I wanted to give him a shout out. So
shout out. I'll mention that. I'll mention that tomorrow as well. I did not. I know that people listen to the show, but we always say, like, we just don't know. Is it one person? Is it a shop full of people? Like, there's no way to know. Like, when I'm telling sponsors about it, I don't oversell numbers. Oh, we got so many numbers. Like, honestly, I got to tell you, I don't know.
well, he brought it up and said, hey, we have it on in the shop. We listen to it in the shop while we're working.
Good note. Good note. Oh, shout out Jerry Bickle Race Cars. What's up, guys? Bobby Graham, represent. Good job.
Yeah,
Bobby.
Matt. We now know somebody that's there, Matt. We may can help you out.
Exactly. So,
do
they listen to the Ignition show though? That's my question.
He said they did. Yes, they did.
Wow.
So because they can listen to it and they don't have to watch it.
That's it.
There you go.
That's the whole design of this deal. Even though we are probably going to put this video up on YouTube as video starts to slowly take over everything, there has to be something that's designed for audio only people, because there are people who have to work, but they can still listen and they've heard Led Zeppelin enough, and so.
Whoa, slow down. I mean,
I love Led Zeppelin.
I love them, but after 50 years, it's enough.
Look, you don't have to tell me. I listen to podcasts all day long too, but I prefer the live stuff too. But I would never say those words.
No, I never said they were bad.
I would never say the words he uttered.
Right. But that's the point. As great as Led Zeppelin is, there's only so many times over the course of a work week that you can hear Led Zeppelin on Classic Rock Radio. That's all I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Well, good job, Bobby. Thank you very much.
All right. And my public service announcement here, my wife had me to bring up, is if you're going to buy insurance for your car, try to do so before you wreck the car. Because your insurance is not good if you buy it after you wreck the car. And they have ways of knowing when you insured your car and when you wrecked your car.
They do have ways. They have ways.
They have ways. They have ways.
Now, are you giving this advice to somebody who tried to pull this off?
No. My wife just brought that up. She works with the insurance fraud division with the state police.
If I'd like to order some insurance.
So I have to keep my insurance legal all the time.
1980 Cougar. It's great condition.
Oh God, if there's a car comes to my house, the VIN numbers will run on it first.
Full coverage, please. Full coverage. Bobby Graham, great stuff. Great stuff.
Anyway.
All right. So first of all, I'd like to extend a formal apology to the fans of Led Zeppelin. Please do not take it out on the show. I just popped it. I was coming up with a band. I love Led Zeppelin. It popped into my head as something that gets played a lot.
Just try a little Opeth or if not that, Osric Tentacles, something like that. Just change up a little bit.
There it is. Exactly. Listen to Bobby Graham in the words of wisdom. Thank you, Bobby. Great job. That was awesome. Oh, there it is. The Bobby Graham sound effect. There it is. Bobby Graham. All right, Sue. You're gonna what are you laughing at, Sue?
After this weekend, I'm laughing at a little bit of everything. I even had to laugh at myself after we lost.
Oh, Sue.
I know. 001 Red. It was awesome. But then between semifinals and losing in the final and Super Comp was awesome on Sunday. And never take yourself too seriously is what I will say, because Dave goes out there. Of course, I'm videoing. And again, Mooresville's kind of a narrow track. And I had myself positioned up against, which I thought was the guardrail. He goes down there, and I'm looking at the scoreboard, and I saw we didn't win. And I was like, oh, man. And I start to lean back. Well, I wasn't leaning up against the guardrail. So I did a little pirouette and landed on my butt.
Oh, no.
Everybody's like, oh, my goodness. Of course, I was talking to Cody later of NHRA, and he's on the microphone. He's like, Sue, it's not that bad. You just lost the final. And I did a little pirouette and bowed and
wow.
Told him, just call me Grace. So, Hey, you got to have fun is what I will tell you.
You could have been
And
injured. You're very lucky. You could have been injured.
I knew I was going down, so I just sat down.
That's the best move. You got to learn how to fall. It's what my dad says all the time. Like you can, people who don't know how to fall.
But hey, on the words of wisdom, if you have something that you want to do, try it, go after it. And this weekend was a bit of a three-ring circus, but it was so much fun. Can't wait to do it again. But absolutely, if you have an urge, you have something that you really want to do, even if you're afraid of it, go after it, try it. You got to give it a try. Yeah, 001 red. But
you got to do. No, that's great advice. That's the thing that, look at losing Unkefer, right? Like there's a guy that was going great and living his retirement and doing the thing. And he's telling me about, he's going to go drive around and do some, and nope, he's gone. Life is, it's tough and it's rare and it's a blessing. And you can say it whichever one of the vermilion ways. You got to do stuff. And like I was saying in the Monday Motivation about taking the shots, you got to do stuff. Like it doesn't matter whether you succeed or you fail. Obviously you would love to succeed, but it's about the experience. And if you fail, you'll use that. And the next time you'll succeed. And the more times you try, you're just racking up experiences. And some are good and some are bad. Oh man, remember that time? And it's also like amazing. Like the thing about humanity is that like, I remember many times of being hurt, like pain, physical pain, but I can't really remember the pain, right? Like, I can't really remember like, man, well, that pain was really bad. It was agonizing. It hurt so bad. You somehow, you keep the experience, but you forget the pain part of it. And, like I was just thinking about like getting up there in the batter's box and swinging the bat, right? Like nobody wants to strike out, but if you're going to go down swinging.
You got to try. You got to try. And, like just like losing Unkefer and fast. Life is short. Reach out. Hug your friends. Hug your family. Say hello. Meet new people. Just enjoy things. Take chances. Don't leave with regrets.
Right. That's right. No regrets. Definitely not. In fact, this is a perfect opportunity for me to tell everybody that is a Patreon out there to join us at the U.S. Nationals and or Vegas 2. Have you come any closer to deciding which of the two of these races that you will be taking a chance and going out, living life to the fullest? Sue, which one are you and Dave going to join us at? The U.S. Nationals or Vegas 2?
We're still debating on whether it's one or both. So what I will tell you is the next national event is Charlotte 4 wides.
Charlotte 4 wides. Yeah, I'll be there. I'm excited about it. I'm very excited. Charlotte 4 wide. The only thing is I do have to miss that last meeting for PBIR. And I even thought about changing flights and everything. And it just doesn't work. They're going to have to hand the baton to someone. And if this thing gets saved, it's a team effort already. So we'll see. All right, Sue, say hi to Dave. Congratulations on your good start. Like that was a good burnout, and keep going. Like it's going to be great. You're going to turn on lots of win lights. It's going to be awesome.
Thank you so much.
All
Everybody,
right.
Have a great week. WFO.
WFO. There goes Sue Morris of Dave and Sue Morris. And that leaves Giovanni in Miami and myself. Giovanni, how about this show? Oh my goodness. This is perfect for YouTube. 2.5 hours. What'd you say? Let's knock this thing out in 50 minutes.
I told you, 46 minutes, just like an episode, so that they could put in the commercials later.
All right, what's your final thought for these folks?
Well, we're going to close out. Autodrome is a tracker circuit for racing cars. So there you go. Just to close out one of those last final thoughts there on the show. And well, since it's what's going on, you mentioned young passing of Dwayne Askins, 24 years old, and a friend of yours and all of drag racing world, Bob, passes. And it's just, another, the 10,000th example of how precious and short life is really. And you just don't know when it is. So to use a perfect baseball analogy, because it is baseball season and I go to a lot of baseball practice and games throughout the week. Get up there and swing, because you can't get a hit if you don't swing.
You can't get a hit if you don't swing. That's right. Somehow that feels very personal.
Where don't listen. nonsense that Troy was talking to you about religion. Easter is candy and chocolate bunnies. Okay, that's what it's all about.
Right. Absolutely. And the resurrection, all of those things together. Sue said, Monica says, bye, Sue. Happy Easter. Stubo says, happy Easter. Have a great week. Gio says, happy Easter. And whatever, like right on command, Gio, your internet is like degrading. You've become fuzzy.
All right. Well, everyone, enjoy the races. Bye, bye, bye. We'll talk to you next Monday with a NBA playoff game 1 report. And what else is it? It's Bristol drag racing. Bristol drag racing.
Dirt.
Bristol
They
dirt
threw a D in
racing.
there. There's a D. Bristol dirt racing. We'll see how it goes. All right,
Don't
Giovanni.
forget to set those fantasy teams, everybody. Have
Set
a
'em.
great week.
Excellent. All right. And that brings us to the very end. The very, very end. And, we've got our normal WFO out music where I say goodbye to everyone. I do want to thank our sponsors, folks. If you've hung this far, you need to know the people who make it possible, like the Patreons, the VIP Listener Club. You just saw all the co-hosts. They're all Patreons. That's part of their patronage. They get to chime in on the show and watch the live recording session of this show that is Ignition. And we're going to put this one up on YouTube. Go to WFOradio.com. Wide freaking open. WFOradio.com. And if you want to join the patrons, you can, but you don't have to. You can watch it and listen to Ignition after the fact. Alan Reinhart on Tuesday, Ron Capps on Wednesday. We got a big week of WFO. You know who wasn't on the show was Matt Clark from Australia. Very disappointed that Matt Clark did not join us, especially after the big Australian Formula One weekend. I hope everything's okay with Matt. I hate that I'm to the point in my life where it's like when someone doesn't come around for 1 minute, I'm wondering, like, where are they? What's wrong? What's the story? But Matt Clark from Australia did not join us the week right after, days, literally hours after the Australian Grand Prix. What's up with that? Matt Clark. Join Patreon so you too can be accosted when you do not show up. Big thanks to Marvin Rodak, Rodak'sCoffeeandGrills.com. We all pretty much enjoy Marvin's coffee, roasted fresh per your order. It's great coffee from around the world, plus grills and tools and tips and information and hot sauces, which I love greatly. 817-924-6821. Call Marvin. Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School. They've got a dragster class that you can go drive a dragster. Think about it. Showing up just you and driving dragsters. How awesome. FrankHawley.com. Tell them you heard about it on WFO. Samtech is education for the next generation of engine builders and machinists, CNC and fuel injection. They've got everything. They're approved to train veterans under the GI Bill, located in Houston, Texas area. Check them out, samtech.edu. And then VP Racing Fuels, supporting the WFO experience. Go to vpracingfuels.com, sign up for their newsletter. Whether it be fuel additives, racing fuel, car care products, VP has got a whole line of products for WFO Radio listeners. Thanks to VP for jumping on board with WFO Radio. Total Seal Piston Rings, Matt Hartford and the team. We're going to have Greg Anderson on Hidden Horsepower. Going to talk to him tomorrow at 5 o'clock. You'll be able to hear it later on in the week. It's not going to be the typical Greg interview. How does Greg, crew chief, become an engine guy? We're going to find out. TotalSeal.com for your rings. And then there's FTIperformance.com for, the big money minute. Troy is like reading names, and I would say a lot of them who are winning are using FTI Performance converters and transmissions. And I can guarantee you Donovan Williams was, because, Troy works there. FTIperformance.com. And I don't have the banner just yet, but I also want to welcome, this is like the soft open. You'll find out tomorrow, hopefully. Phillips Connect, smart trailer technology. The folks at Phillips Connect are now on board with WFO Radio, and there's all kinds of great stuff going on. But if you are over-the-road trucker, if you are a fleet operator, Phillips Connect has got so many sensors and technology to make you aware of what's going on in your trailer. A quick example is like one of your tires is heating up. It's heating up, and it's getting ready to blow. How would you know that, right? Well, not only can it sense it, but it can notify not just you, but people back at the fleet that you are having a problem, about to have a problem. They might, hey, man, you're having a problem. Get off the road. Go here. Just amazing technology at Phillips Connect. And, of course, that's Justin Ashley and Jim Epler and those guys over there doing a great job. So we are super thrilled at that. And on this final note, in lieu of our normal out music, your Formula One connection in South Florida, right down the street from the Miami Autodrome. Forza Ferrari, everyone. We're back, baby. For the Ferrari fans of the world, we here in the States have felt the pain, but now we are emerging from the dark times, much like the Renaissance, which also started in Italy. We are back with a car that is capable of winning the world championship, and a driver, Charles Leclerc, who's capable of winning a driver championship, and maybe with the points lead, the constructors and the driver championship, and a whole bunch of other stuff all combined. And we as Ferrari fans, we will celebrate like we once celebrated with the great Michael Schumacher and all the world championships. And we're going to do it right here in the city of Miami, less than 30 days from now. WFO, everybody. We appreciate you. And we'll see you next time on WFO Radio.